Yeah. Hey, we're live. It's the Redeye stream 116. So Europe says they are not vassals to the United States. Really? How are you enjoying all that defense funding? How's NATO working out for you? Any good wars lately? Come on, Europe. You can't take the good and then throw out the bad. Yeah, you're mad about the Iran deal. We'll dig into that article here in a second. But you're not U.S. vassals? Stop kidding your fucking self. Right, MC? Come on.
They can be whatever the flip they want, to be honest. I mean, as far as their statement, you're right about the fact that they, that they live under the umbrella provided for them, the defense umbrella. But as far as them saying vassals, if they were vassals, then I think that they should be far more accommodating in the UN than they have been, don't you think? They're truly vassals of the U.S.
Yeah, 40. What do you think about that? I mean, and I know they're grandstanding. We were just talking about John Hancock before we came on air, grandstanding with the signature. That's what they're doing here. But how dare you, right? Even me as a libertarian, I think they're kind of right. They should do what they want. But how dare you, cunts?
I mean, here's the thing, right? This is a really weird relationship that we have with Europe at the moment, because I mean, we're the ones providing them with quite a bit of defense, and we're not maybe outright giving it to them, but we are certainly selling them used equipment for a discount price. We're kind of like the dollar bin in terms of just national defense, I would say.
Did you just compare us to the dollar store of military equipment?
I mean, kind of. Yes and no. I mean, well, it's used shit, so I mean, they're getting that discount price and whatnot.
I would say we're more like a secondhand. We're more like a BMW dealership. We'll sell you something. You're just going to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. But the point I'm getting at is that they're not necessarily vassals. I mean, here's the thing. We're the ones selling them all this modern equipment at discount prices. We're the ones voluntarily stationing troops in their countries on the Eastern Bloc. We fucking deploy troops in Korea, and they're not exactly like paying homage to us or anything. They're not vassals. It's a weird what's that called? Like dominatrix or dominatrix kind of relationship going on. I mean, we're the one giving them all this fucking shit for either free or at a discount price, and then they turn around and they'll shit talk us at the UN, or they'll vote against us. So it's not like they don't have agency as a nation. It's not like they don't have sovereignty. They can still do whatever the fuck they want.
40. I think you may have just proposed a solution for NATO. And by this, what I'm saying is, so what you're saying is we need to jack up our weapon prices extremely high so that they either have to pay or they need to start dealing with Russia to buy AKs and other technology and shit like that, like those tanks. Thereby, if they actually start working with Russia, that then normalizes relations and NATO is no longer needed.
No, wait a minute. There's a follow-up story that I was debating on bringing in right after this article, and it has to do with what Putin, his latest remarks about the Iranian deal. So he said that's going to move Europe closer to his influence. His is in Russian influence. But I do want to dig into this article. I got it off of Fox News. So in Paris, France urged Europeans to stand up to United States President Donald Trump over the Iran nuclear deal and not act as vassals, as the region scrambles to save the 2015 accord and billions of dollars in trade. That is the key there, in my humble opinion. Billions of dollars in trade with Iran. Arguing the nuclear deal wasn't tough enough on Iran, Trump's government is now reimposing sanctions. And any companies or governments with links to the U.S. face sanctions if they do not comply. France Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire said Friday on Europe 1 radio that Europe should not accept the U.S. is the world's economic policeman. So once again, I come back to my argument. You want us to be your policeman when you're in fucking trouble, right? The Nazis are fucking invading. You need fucking help. United States, please come rescue us. Oh, the evil Russians are going to nuke the world. United States, please come rescue us. But we're like, hey, can you, impose these sanctions on this country over here that, I don't know, wants to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. Can you, help us out, and not sell them shit? Well, fuck you, US. You're not America. You're not world's policeman. Fuck you. You can't have it both ways. And that was the shittiest French accent ever. I apologize. But fuck off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Next time Germany starts a world war, right? If the Russians get a big dick and they want to do, when was it? Oh fuck! You guys might know. When was it that Russia cut off gas to Eastern Europe, and it even hit places like France and the UK? They cut off their gas exports from Ukraine or something like that.
I think that was in like what 2013 or 2012. I think it's somewhere in that time frame where they were threatening. Yeah. I'm not sure they actually cut it off, but they definitely threatened to do it.
Yeah. Oh, I could have swore or maybe they only cut off like a portion or something. But I distinctly remember that, and I was just like, oh, fuck, nuclear war tomorrow. It obviously never fucking happened, but, I mean, next time Russia gets a big dick, next time Germany wants to start a world war, with their little migrant army or something, they're going to want us there, and they're going to have stabbed us in the back so many fucking times that it wouldn't even be worth it. If we have a president that's worth his weight in gold and actually has a pair of balls, he wouldn't help them.
Well, and that's what's going to end up happening. Okay, they're upset not because the U.S. pulled out of the deal. They're upset because the U.S. is going to level sanctions. And when the U.S. levels sanctions, it affects all their businesses in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay. That's their problem is that they have many of their larger corporations, of course. America is the world market. Okay. Everyone sells to the United States. The United States hasn't been doing a very, narrow job of preventing, people from taking advantage of that. We can't sell our goods in your countries, but you can come over here and sell as many goods as you want in the United States. Trump is realigning that, and they're very upset about it. When it comes to the Iranian deal, right? How do you even say it's a deal? There's absolutely no pushback. The Iranians didn't even bother signing it. They were so contemptuous of the deal, knowing that they didn't even bother signing it because they knew just how cucked the Europeans are. You're going to preach to the United States about staying in a deal that the country that it affects didn't even bother signing, and you're going to try and lecture the United States? Okay, well, that's fine. Now, as far as them cheating, and especially the French and the rest of the Europeans cheating, once upon a time there was something back in the first Bush administration, all right, where we ended up going to war to go save Kuwait, and we were doing it at the behest of the Europeans, because to be honest, we don't get much oil from that region.
Well, no, I would like to add, fuck off. What about Vietnam? Who started that shit show? The fucking French.
We'll leave Vietnam out of this for the moment because of the story. So we go in, our troops go in there, capture, of course, the Iraqis, and what do we find? We find all sorts of electronics that was supposed to be banned to Iraq, all right, in all of their tanks. And some of their infrared systems were actually better than what was on the average market.
Oh my God!
Let's not hate on the Iraqis for getting some iPhones.
And most of those were produced by a company called Odelft Systems, right, which is a Dutch company.
Of course.
Dutch-German company that they were selling it. So the idea that the Europeans don't cheat and don't have, just ignore the United States, this is a well-known thing. They don't like the fact that you're dealing with a president, just like Reagan was, who's, when you guys in Europe decide you're going to say, screw America, we're going to do it anyway, are going to hold you accountable. They're afraid of what Reagan did to Toshiba happening to them.
Well, here's a question I would ask. What kind of sanctions would we level upon the French, the Dutch, even the British if they traded with Iran? I mean, we're not going to give them the same level of sanctions as we are Iran or North Korea, would we?
We wouldn't sanction them at all. What we would do is ban the company that was trading from doing business in the United States, just like we did to Toshiba. Okay, for a year, you can't sell anything in the United States. Enjoy.
Interesting, because the article is saying that the United States would level sanctions against any country that violates the sanctions with Iran. So if France continued to do business in Iran, we would sanction them, is the implication I'm getting from this article.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If it's a French company that's doing business with Iran, it might hurt them. I don't think any German company would be hurt, though. Because, I mean, the way I understand it, and this is just layman terms, I don't fucking look at German laws, I don't look at laws pertaining to the EU specifically, but the way I understand it is that Germany essentially has a monopoly set up where they're the manufacturing heart of Europe. They're the ones that are manufacturing a majority of the advanced technologies, like you were talking, you know, like thermal systems for tanks or whatever the case might be. So if it's a German company, it might hurt them. But I mean, there's a good chance that a lot of these other countries like France, the UK, Italy, Spain, Portugal, these places probably aren't manufacturing hubs like Germany is, so they're probably not going to be hit as hard.
Well, there's one thing I really have to comment about this story. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's great because you even have me, a libertarian, screaming at the Europeans now. They're doing a great job of pissing everybody off, aren't they? And Cabbage, jump in. You hate France more than anybody. Come on now.
Yeah, retake Britannia.
Yeah, well, you know, the trouble is we always get caught up in the same nonsense with Europe. That's the problem, you know. So we get tarnished with the same brush. I said this the other night. It would be fantastic if we could just pull up anchor and float off into the Atlantic somewhere. You know?
Move your island a little closer to the U.S. You'll be better off.
That's it. And it'll be warmer as well. So yeah, we're always going to get. Well, we know what the French are like. They've been backstabbing us since the beginning of history. So yeah. They don't play. Yeah, they don't play well with others. The Europeans, that's for sure. Which is why that's why they love this tariff thing. You know, they love tariffs and they love fucking with people. But then the minute you try and do the same thing to them, then they freak out. You know, so I think Trump should call them on it. You know, I mean, do sanctions. You know, refuse them the ability to sell or whatever, and do sanctions as well. He's like,
that's exactly what
will be a big back.
Yeah, that is going to happen. I can guarantee you that is going to happen. If everyone thinks that this is a joke, they're going to find out very, very quickly it's not a joke. And yes, Putin's right. It is going to move a lot of these areas closer, as far as deals-wise, back to the Russians. All right. However, one of the things that Putin can't manage, right, is how an economic growth will affect his country. Because as soon as you start developing economic growth, as soon as people start having more money in their pocket, they become less manageable. They become more independent. They're not as subservient to the state.
Well, they're not as dependent, yeah.
Wait a second. Are you saying Putin's trying to make Russia great again?
No, he's always been trying to do that.
That sounds familiar.
You know, I mean, everybody's known that that's what he's been doing.
Well, let's dig into this article a little bit deeper. Do we want to be vassals who obey decisions taken by the United States while clinging to the hem of their trousers, Lamar asked? Or do we want to say that we have our economic interests? We consider we will continue to do trade with Iran. I hate how French people fucking organize their words. We consider we will continue to do trade with Iran. All right. European governments tried for months to persuade Trump to stick with the deal, but failed, and now fear it will raise the risk of conflict in the region. Military tensions between Iran and Israel have already mounted, and oil prices are rising on the uncertainty. Iran said it may resume uranium enrichment in a higher rate in weeks if it finds nuclear deal will not work anymore after the U.S. pull out from the deal. Russian President Putin and German Chancellor Merkel spoke Friday and underlined their aim of preserving the deal and peace in the Middle East. Merkel said Friday the unilateral U.S. withdrawal undermines confidence in the global order and that it wasn't enough to abandon decades of cross-Atlantic cooperation. Okay, so now that right there, I want to reread that and get your guys' thoughts. Merkel said Friday, the unilateral U.S. withdrawal undermines confidence in the global order, comma. But that it wasn't enough to abandon decades of cross-Atlantic cooperation. Well, it might be if you guys continue to thumb your nose at us and work with our enemies. I mean, who are you to say that the U.S. isn't going to finally say, fuck you, Europe, go fucking eat a dick? Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I mean, America, well, just look what Europe is doing now with NATO. You know, I think the majority of NATO countries have never put up their contribution. You know, they've never paid the full whack. Britain has. It's always paid, I think it's 2% of your GDP or something. But a lot of the countries haven't done, and that's the thing. They have been getting a free ride on the back of everyone else. And so now they think the solution is to make their own army, a European Union army. And that's not going to be good for anybody. That's not a good idea by anybody.
No, Cabbage, that is on the back burner in my mind when I'm reading this article. Europe is saying, fuck you, America, don't be the economic policeman. And they're talking to Putin. They're considering to continue to work with Iran no matter what, with the Russian help, while they're trying to build an EU army, which after that, they won't need our defense umbrella. So they are kind of trying to cut ties in the long run. They're playing a long game.
Okay. Let's take a look at this for a moment. Let's just focus on one aspect of what you guys have been talking about, which is the European army. Okay.
Oh, well, by the way, which they claimed they had no intention of doing before Brexit.
Right.
Well, no, that's just that, you know, someone's delusion.
Yeah. Well, as they create the great grand European army, all right, how effective is that army going to be? There was a time period, and I'm dead serious about this because this is important. There was a time, people feared the German army because it was, very, very disciplined, very, mechanized, all right, high speed, low drag, very efficient. Okay, that ship sailed a long time ago. If you try to put together a European army right now, and then you came out with, we've got the Eurofighter, and look, we also have the new Leopard 2 tanks or the Leopard 3s, right? Look at how great and wonderful we are. How is Russia going to react to that? Now,
going to start balkanizing.
All right. Now, this is important, and the reason is because they're going to provoke at some point while they're moving closer. They're going to tell Putin or the Russians, whoever the Russians are in charge, you can't do X, Y, or Z. We'll defend ourselves. Defend yourselves? Right now, everyone keeps talking about how great the Leopard tank is. That's on par with the M1, except for the fact that 90% of them aren't even fieldable right now. Okay, they're not even able to be utilized. This is one of the other dirty little secrets. We got all these tanks. None of them run, because we haven't done any maintenance on them, and the maintenance on them is too expensive, so we just haven't been maintaining them. Right? So if you're going to sit up there and put together a true military that even comes close to looking like a threat, most likely the Russians are going to take aggressive stances, and you're going to have a world war. And this time, since you decided to say, well, we're big and bad, we're going to sit up there and stand up to the U.S. If you think the U.S. is going to come in and save your ass, as long as the Russians don't attack, to be honest, Great Britain, it's going to be fuck off. Deal with it. You guys made your bed, lie in it, and that's what's going to happen. Right now, with the you can see it in Mad Dogs, you can see it in many other people. There is definitely an isolationist movement taking place in the United States today, because people are tired of just getting carped on. No matter what the hell we do as the United States, if it's in international affairs, we're going to be treated like freaking dog shit. We can't make a good decision unless we're freaking subservient to somebody else. And guess what? That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, that, and just to be honest, the way the EU is treating bloc countries like Hungary, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. I mean, they're just driving them closer into the arms of Russia. I mean, especially because, like, I know in Romania specifically, there's a lot of French companies that will literally extract natural gas, and they'll sell it back to the Romanians, but they'll ship a good portion of it back to France. And so these Eastern Europeans, it's like they're being, molested or something by foreign powers. So they're not endearing themselves at all.
The Eastern Europeans really, this is why they're waking up to the threat of the European Union and what it's becoming, this socialist entity. And they don't want it. They just managed to get rid of it. They've only just managed to get their autonomy and their, and now they suddenly recognize that they've joined what will become a Marxist, communist environment. Mm-hmm. And they want that's why they're looking for their independence back. They're rethinking their decisions now on that basis, because they don't want Russia anymore, because they've already had it. They've been there, done it, got the hell
definitely,
out.
Definitely definitely the Polish. The Polish don't want to cozy up to Putin. They know what he is. But just my stupid opinion. You just joined us. Welcome. And any thoughts on this story so far?
Well, I'm just kind of laughing at everything right now because, I mean, I've been kind of watching this from afar too over the last, ever since Trump got elected. I've been watching this sort of isolationism that's been growing. And I think actually when we're talking about America, for your own sakes, I think it's about time, because it's actually pretty much probably I'm echoing MC a little bit, but every single time America jumps into a situation, they're shit on regardless of the facts. And I think it's about time that America, next time there is a crisis of some sort, even if it's not militarily, even if it's economically, and they're asking for help, I think you should just sit it out for that very reason and say, you know what, you shat on us you spent the last, 20, 30 years or more shitting on us for everything we've tried to do. So why should we jump in and help? I see no reason why America should even take any part in anything that would happen. I mean, once again, how many Americans have died going to war for other countries? Enough. And they spit on you, they spit on you with no respect. That's actually one thing why I do at least respect America, because you help keep my country safe too. So I'm at least willing to recognize that. But for you guys, they'll just throw you under the bus every chance they get. And then anytime things go bad, they're coming running to you. It's like in a way, it's like a kid who rejects their parents for everything they do for them. And then whenever they get into a little bit of trouble, it's the first person that they call.
I'd just like to make 2 quick points. One, MC, you should be worried since the Canadian is agreeing with you. 2, I'm surprised, Mad isn't going, having a good fapping session over this, because let's be honest, if the EU goes to war, it's like a real life game of Civ 5.
Ooh, good point.
Well, I mean,
I didn't think about it that way.
Well, one thing when I've been...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say one thing too, that when this all happened and Trump pulled out of the deal, I was reading just a couple articles on it, and one thing I don't think I have it saved anywhere, but which kind of shocked me was one that was talking about how this proved that America can't be trusted, and they're willing to back down on their on the deals that they make, but they completely they didn't talk anything about Hassan Rouhani or what the Iranians have done since the deal was put in place. I mean, they've opened new facilities. They've had their centrifuges running, producing more uranium, and there's been evidence of sanitization at their sites whenever there is somebody that comes in order to investigate the facilities. Also, on top of that, there's only certain facilities that apparently that the International Atomic Energy Agency is allowed to investigate. So who knows what's going on at these other points too. And Hassan Rouhani, the president of Iran, when he was campaigning in 2013 for the presidency, he full out said that when he was like, I don't remember the position. It's like Minister of Nuclear Energy or something like that. He full out bragged about how he never listened to any of the IAEA's, any of their recommendations, anything they wanted to put in place. So it's actually been proven that Iran, from the get-go, right from like the second this deal was put in place, was already backing down on. They never at any point were willing to honor the agreement. Hassan Rouhani, the whole point was just to get the eyes of the world off him, get America's eyes off him. But the other thing that,
oh, go ahead, man.
Just to finish up, the other thing that I never understood when we're talking about Obama is with the deal that Obama made, is if he really cared so much about preventing the Iranians from producing a nuclear weapon, then why did he approve 2 different transfers of uranium to the Iranians? I think the first one was just after the deal was signed, and then he made another transfer just a few months before he was out of office. So if they really did care about them not having access to this, then he never would have approved any of those uranium transfers.
Shh, that's just technicalities. But going back to the Iran deal, one question: how do you have a deal when Iran doesn't even sign the deal?
Exactly.
Like we actually talked about this a little bit the other day. Apparently, no Iranian actually signed it. And hold on, I need to trigger Cabbage very quickly. But Voice, I would like to say thank you for supporting my notion of gamer theory with your civ explanation earlier.
It's actually just game theory, but never mind. But yeah, no, Iran went even one step further. They didn't sign it and then openly burnt an American flag. Which is kind of not, one thing's a rejection, the other's a real kick in the teeth. Why would they burn the American flag on the basis that they didn't want to do a deal to begin with?
And even worse, that wasn't just happening amongst their citizens. That was going on inside their parliament, where they were burning the American flag and saying "Death to America." I mean, could you imagine what would happen if an American politician burned an Iranian flag and said "Death to Iran"? Like the whole eyes of the world, like everybody would shit on him immediately, or her.
And yet somehow, I mean, if anything, Donald Trump just proved that his idea was the right one. It's fuck these people.
No, I'm just saying.
They don't like us.
Maybe when I announce my 2020 campaign, that's how I'll announce it. That might work.
Well, I think all they did was prove that, pulling out of the deal was a smart move, because they clearly do not respect America. So why would you expect them to respect even if they did sign it, which they wouldn't have done, So fuck them. Yeah, I think Trump did a good one, man. I think he pulled a blinder.
Yeah, but I'm more interested because the whole point of this story is about Europe's response, especially France and Germany.
Yeah,
yeah, and they keep thumbing their nose at the United States. Why don't we start pulling our troops out of Germany and stuff? Fuck off.
Well, because they don't have their EU army yet. That's why.
You see, this is where it's going to get interesting, because if NATO isn't there, then you'll be required to leave.
No, but I'm talking about from an economic standpoint. They're saying, just a second. They're saying that we are not the policemen when it comes to the world economy. Well, how much does our bases in your countries bolster your local economies? How about we pull them out? How about your economies tank and you go through another depression? Fuck off.
Bring them over here.
You're looking at the end of NATO. NATO is on life support, and people don't want to believe it. NATO's on life support right now. And you're looking
bring your bases over here, okay?
It would not surprise me if at some point in time we sit up and say, okay, we're done with NATO. You guys can defend yourselves, and we walk away.
That's true. I mean, the only caveat I have is that, I don't know. I suppose here's to Trump's second term, and that he eventually becomes God King or something. But unless we have another president like Trump, then if we get another president like Obama, they're gonna hook it right back up to life support. They're totally gonna cut to the demands of Germany.
Okay, guys, we have a question from the chat. Moz would like to know, panel, nuke Iran, yes or no? So let's start with Voice, and then we'll move on to memes, MC, Cabbage, just my stupid opinion, 40, and I'll wrap up my opinion. So nuke Iran, yes or no, and why? Voice, I know you're going to say yes, but why?
Oh, you might be getting coffee.
Oh, fuck off, Voice. 40. Come on, you're here.
Shit, I don't know. Nuke Iran. I'm gonna say no, just due to the fact that honestly, the next time a nuke is used, it's most likely going to start a chain reaction. Unless it's like some weird, bizarre thing where we accidentally, there's some kind of malfeasance going on and we accidentally like nuke some area out in the Pacific, and it's like, oh hey, just a heads up, this was an accident. I don't know. I have a feeling that the next time a nuke is used, it's going to be a series of chain reactions, and it's probably not going to be pretty. So I would avoid it just based on that, to be honest.
All right. Memes. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, let's not nuke fucking Iran just because, genocide is bad. And like 40 was saying, it's probably going to be a very bad day, that whole mutually assured destruction thing.
Okay. You know what? Fuck it. We don't have mutually assured destruction with Iran. Just make sure you target a spot where the fallout won't hit Russia, and we're good. I'll change it up. Nuke Iran. Kill them. Wipe them out. They keep threatening us. Fuck them. Let them die. Anyway, next.
Who is next? Is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll go. I guess I could pretty much fall in line with 40. I would say don't nuke Iran, because I could just see it as setting off a chain reaction. And again, I don't know. It's like you can't. I don't think that Hassan Rouhani and the government there necessarily represents the entire people of Iran. So you're just going to nuke them all, kind of a blanket statement. I don't think that's the right way to go. But more than anything, it's like even if there's not mutually assured destruction, I really think the biggest problem is you're going to have somebody else, another nuclear power, that becomes worried about them becoming the next one and maybe willing to fire off that nuke. So don't nuke Iran.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Duck talkers, let's nuke Iran.
Oh shit! Scared me.
Hey, Wolfie.
Hey, what's up? We're gonna nuke Iran or what?
Yeah, let's do it. You and me, baby.
If I knew you were gonna join, I would have said my real answer. But yeah, I guess I signed up to nuke Iran. Fuck it.
What's the real? No. What's the real answer?
You know how many times I've argued against using nuclear weapons?
Well, I don't think we can nuke Iran, but I think we can leave the Middle East. Period. Like if they want to fucking gas each other and blow each other up, that's their business. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah,
I think MC might disagree with you.
Can we get a CIA operative to sneak into Pakistan and have them nuke Iran?
We can't do that. I mean, we can't do that right now, though. I mean, we couldn't leave Syria the fuck alone. Now we have to, and now there's probably going to be an engagement in Iran. I guarantee you there's going to be either an engagement or our gas prices are going to go up exponentially.
Do you think so? Do you think so?
Do.
Because I was worried about that with North Korea, and Trump was fucking right. North Korea has drastically dropped in tensions, and there might be peace over there. Maybe this will work.
That whole thing is so coincidental, though.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's happening right around the time he needs re-election. I mean, come on.
Mad, I'd also like to say that, Kim Jong Ding Dong, is quite different from a culture and country that really like going to war. They're not going to, if fucking Trump gets in their face, they're going to answer right back. It's a completely different situation.
All of this bullshit is too coincidental for me. For like the North Korea, South Korea situation, it's too coincidental.
What do you mean?
As in, like, all the stars are aligning magically right now? I don't think so.
Well, no.
Who do you think's manipulating it?
No, don't forget effectively the North Korean nuclear test facility imploded upon itself. I mean, they blew themselves up effectively. So they managed to destroy their own nuclear facilities.
I'm not saying that Trump didn't have a hand in it. I'm just saying it's mighty fucking convenient.
Well, that could also be a little synchronicity in that the election of what many would consider an authoritarian style president, along with the fact that they finally developed the H-bomb and the potential means to deliver a miniaturized version of it, which also happened to destroy their testing facility and potentially some of their best nuclear scientists. So at this point, they could pitch it as, we have the bomb. We actually have the ability to nuke the U.S. And President Trump says, my bombs are bigger. So it's at the point now where if they don't have the ability to continue to bluster, then you might as well make a fucking deal at some point.
I think it's a much simpler solution, or it's a simple answer. Basically, I think at the Winter Olympics, Mr. Vice President Pence give Kim's sister a little something extra.
Yeah.
He doesn't go to dinner with women without his wife.
What?
Yeah,
give her the
That's
D?
right.
Yeah, he gave her a missile of his own. Yes.
7 months from now, there's going to be an awfully white child, and
Jesus Christ. God damn.
Yeah, but in terms of nuking Iran, you don't need to nuke them. I mean, what are those things called? MC, are they daisy cutters?
Yes.
They're kind of pretty much. I mean, you only need a couple of those. That'll be plenty. You know, I mean,
No, I don't think.
And plus, you don't get the radiation, so it's a lot better, much cleaner bomb.
The Iran is much larger population-wise than people give it credit for, and you can't forget that. All right, personally, I don't believe that we should use a nuke because there's no way to use an actual nuke and have it have the fallout not affect the Soviet Union or the Russians, and they would then get involved. Right, but what we can do is warm up the B-52.
Hey, wait a minute, I gotta stop you, MC. The 80s wants their foreign policy back. The Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore.
Speaking of
Not
the,
yet.
Oliver North is the fucking president of the NRA now. Now that is bringing it back to the 80s, you guys.
I saw that shit. I saw that. I was like,
I'm
wow.
like, wow, that is the worst pick ever. Good for you.
I have no memory of what you're talking about.
The Iran Contra thing.
You didn't get the joke.
No, I was only born in '87. That might be why I didn't get the fucking joke.
It was Reagan's answer to everything, and then he claimed he had Alzheimer's. I have no memory of.
I'm sure he had Alzheimer's, but I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
No, the diagnosis of Alzheimer's was not admitted to until after his presidency, Cabbage.
Yes, that's true. It was after. I do realize that. Would have been bad to have it before.
They first diagnosed it after when he was shot. That's when they came out with the first diagnosis.
So it was lead poisoning.
So.
No, but the B-52 is where I cut you off. You said USSR, and I couldn't let that go without a joke.
Okay. Well, what I would do is I would come down here to Tucson. I would demothball all these B-52s, and I would bomb them until they stopped screaming "Death to America." And I would go grid by grid, wiping the entire frickin' infrastructure of that country off the face of the earth and their ability to attack other people.
MC, I just want to say I've never been so much in love with a man as I am right now.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, you're going to step up from Senator Cruz and his carpet bombing indiscriminately.
Yeah.
Boy, stop stroking.
It's not indiscriminate. It's grid by grid.
We want
that's why I said you're a step above Ted Cruz.
It's not indiscriminate. He'll kill them all equally.
I tell you, when people start talking about mass slaughter, I can't help but touch myself.
Oh, go lay on your
Ted Cruz is the fucking what's his name? The Zodiac killer. We want answers.
Oh, I have a cannibalism story for later, but anyway.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Okay, did you get lost in the woods looking for that fucking cougar or whatever? Had to eat a friend or something?
I didn't eat people. What the fuck? No.
I like
someone got 5 kids now instead of 6.
I love the fact how Wolfie was just like, did you get lost hunting that cougar? Mad Dog is like, I don't eat people. He assumed cougar as in gal over 40 that's very attractive, and she was actually talking about the mountain lying outside your house.
That you
I knew what she was talking about. I didn't tell. No, fuck
Oh,
off.
I missed the
Wolfshot.
name. I'm sorry.
Hey, is it not the truth? Yeah, it's the truth.
No, it's not the truth. I didn't tell her, hey, go, here's a stick. There's a big cat out there. Go attack it. No, they went in the woods without permission.
Wolfenon, is that what you just called her?
Would you call
What?
me nigger?
Wolfenon, is that what you called her?
Is it
Wolfenon?
Anon?
Wait a
Wolfenon?
second. Wolfie,
LC
is
is
there
so
something
high
you need
right
to
now.
tell us?
Wolfie is Wolfie is really fucking tired right now.
What is wrong with you people? We're,
You has
God
not
damn it.
posted in 5 days. We are concerned.
Bloody hell.
Okay,
All
keep
right.
going
Good.
with
I
your
hope I
faggot
unbox
shit.
you.
And-
I
Yeah.
apologize.
This is how a stream or a segment where you're talking about nuking Iran goes.
It's like a monkey fucking a football. It's great.
Well, thank you, Moz, for the question. I think we've about covered it.
To the NSA and FBI, you are welcome to watch all the porn I stream.
They just have to be into midgets, right?
Right? Each their own.
What makes you think that they're not providing you that porn?
Yeah.
That's a very good point, man.
Well, then I have a
Yeah.
complaint to make. I want better porn.
Well, yeah, but you don't. You're not on the special subscription list.
You're
You
part
can
of the British internet. They kind of like
Yeah,
they got that stuff on.
that's right. Everyone's got a fucking doily on them.
By doily, he means dildo.
Yeah, well, you see, if you pay your extra subscription, you can get the snuff porn.
Oh god. And by the way, Wolfshot, I think it's called a Dicky Wiki over there.
Oh God,
It's
what the fuck? Kind of faggot shit.
Over.
And here's 40. Let me explore that on Google. What the hell are they talking about?
What? No, snuff. It helps snuff.
No.
It helps clear out the sinuses.
Trust me, it's California. You get a government issued dildo over here. Fucking-
Yeah, how's that epidemic of AIDS going? And I'm not actually joking here. There was a story about how
Yeah.
California is now the epidemic of the world in STDs.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Earlier.
Well, that's
this-
what happens when you say that they no longer have to tell their partner that they have AIDS.
Mm.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, what's this? It's not a misdemeanor anymore to give. Or sorry, it's a
Not
misdemeanor
felony.
now. Yeah, it's not a felony to give people AIDS.
They,
Oh,
they didn't say it was a
So-
center of AIDS outbreak. They just said STDs. And there's a lot of people there, so.
Yeah, but
What
it's
do you?
AIDS. We
Why
all
are
know
you
it's
trying to
AIDS.
excuse it? Why are you trying to?
Because I'm the token left guy,
Excuse it.
apparently.
No, he is being accurate in that is what the report said. But the report was intentionally avoided the breakdown as well. So it is the AIDS capital as well.
So there's
Yeah.
more information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that for some reason didn't make it to that news report, did it?
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. People don't have all the information.
And just to let everybody know, 40 does have a starter up, so he does, so we can fund him to get out of California.
A GoFundMe for your AIDS medication.
yes.
He has to make it to Portland. He's moving in with Mad.
Oh, yeah. Portland's just one rung up.
That's some
No.
good shit right there.
Well, you have a tent. Just,
Yay.
You
Just
do
one
know
up
I don't
online.
live in Portland, right? But anyway,
Memes,
I
memes.
totally live in Portland.
Memes.
FBI, go there.
Memes. 40,
please,
Jesus fucking Christ. Stop.
what the fuck?
No one's even
That was
arguing.
a screaming baby deer.
Damn it.
It hurts the soul.
What, you miss my crying children? You can't hear them, so you gotta create your own fucking screaming? Damn it.
Hey, mine is better time than your fucking children, so fuck you. All right, so we're gonna nuke Iran. What else is on the agenda, boys?
Boys.
Well, I was just about to say in memes, don't mention tents to the city boy 40.
Wait, what?
You said he had a tent.
Oh, yeah.
That cougar's gonna go in the tent and fucking live with him. It's gonna be great.
Oh, and That's how his
Cougar's gonna try and fuck him too, because he's a giant pussy. Right, 40?
All right, 40. We're a very accepting group on the Control Alt right.
Only if that cougar's name is Jennifer Anderson.
Jennifer Anderson or Jennifer Aniston?
Anderson.
I'm thinking of a fusion between Pam Anderson and Jennifer Aniston, and for some reason
That would be kind of hot, maybe.
Oh my god, the power level would be amazing.
Well, Pamela Anderson has already got an STD, so you know you're halfway there, 40.
Oh yeah.
He wants to share with Julian Assange. Just no big deal.
No, but we do have a minute here. I do want to make an announcement.
You'll be breaking your dick off by the end of the week.
Starting next Friday, we're gonna have a new format for the Friday shows. Magic Bollocks is going to be joining the panel. So is Jensen Quinn and me and 40. It'll be a 4-person panel for at least the first hour. Then we'll open it up to everybody else. We're going to go into more satire and just funny shit. So a little bit more lighthearted feel to our Fridays.
Hang on. You're doing a satire show and you're using the most unfunny people. What?
Yeah, Bollocks is gonna carry the show. That's it. It's all on Bollocks. No. And if I wanted unfunny, I would have invited MC to the satire show. No I'm kidding.
Yeah. Hush.
Well, it's fair. You just need to limit MC to 30 seconds a pop.
Stop being so fucking mean to MC.
I'm sorry.
I know his blood pressure is fucking skyrocketing. I can.
Well. Here's the thing. When I try to be an asshole, people just laugh at me. When I'm actually just trying to be genuine, then I'm a complete fucking dick.
I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just me. Fuck all y'all.
I apologize, MC.
Fuck all of you niggers.
Oh, don't you fucking start.
That's number 2.
We all know
it?
that during the fucking week you're dancing about in your little pink frilly dress with the high heels. You're a fucking what's the word for
it? Do I sound like the motherfucker who would wear a pink dress and fucking?
You're a lipstick lesbian, CR.
No.
You only put on this tough
She will kick you in the crotch with her fucking boots, man.
No, I am not a lipstick lesbian. That's for goddamn sure.
She'll be out there doing pirouettes and all sorts of little things. Of course,
that's some gay ass shit, MC. Thank you.
She'll be going out there doing the the little ribbon gymnastics.
Fuck, I hate Shut up,
MC.
So you have done ballet.
Can we talk about Talibanistan or whatever the fuck it's called now?
Thank you.
CMC, you were hitting too close to home.
Becky Stan.
Or Durkistan or Diarrhea Stan, whatever the fuck you want to call it, man.
Can't you just see the little ribbon in the colors of the rebel flag just kind of waving in the breeze?
Yeah. Do you drink mint juleps at all?
Me? No. This is like shit, in my opinion.
Hold on. We really need
I think you're wearing. She wears a lot of taffeta.
Well, no, guys, we have to cheer Wolfie up. She's not feeling good.
Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
You're welcome.
What a wonderful singing voice you have.
Nah, dude, I fucking blare that 4th of July. It's great. Okay, so besides nuking Iran, what else are we going to talk about, Mad Dog?
I'm trying to load up another story unless one of these guys want to pull one up out of Discord. Gordon Ramsay.
Well, actually,
go ahead.
Well, I actually just had a quick question for you guys concerning the everything that's gone on. Because about a month ago, I guess now, was when Benjamin Netanyahu ended up delivering that speech about Iran. He ended up bringing. Did I? Oh, somebody just joined the call. Okay. He ended up bringing up that, giving that speech about Iran and the nuclear weapons of mass destruction. And I don't doubt that that's what Iran's going for. But it did seem very familiar to what he did in 2002 when I think he appeared before it was the US Senate when he was talking about Iraq with weapons of mass destruction. And that turned out to be a whole load of crap. So what do you guys think about him when he brought this back up again? I do believe that they're going for nuclear weapons, but could we really trust Netanyahu's information?
Are we talking about Jews now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. They already have nukes, don't they? Israel.
Who, the Jews?
Yeah,
Israel? Yeah.
What, Japan?
Thank you, memes. So, I mean, I don't.
Japan officially doesn't have nuclear weapons. They just got tons and tons of plutonium.
Yeah, and they just got their military back too.
Well, they have to have it properly shielded and underwater, else Godzilla will fuck them up.
I don't know. Fukushima, you know, they're trying to attract the Godzilla back.
Let's please not. If you think you've seen destruction now.
But no,
Okay.
the Israel and how Israel does things. What you basically saw was a justification for attacking Iran in mass. That's all Israel was doing. I don't think it had anything to do with U.S. foreign policy in any way, shape, or form, to be honest.
The only thing is it seems that America usually gets dragged into these sort of conflicts when Israel's involved, or at least most of the time. So
Because
it seems like if they
America-
were going to, well, it just seems like if Israel is going to go to war, it seems almost inevitable, especially for how much Trump supports Israel, that you guys are going to get into war too.
Adrian, it almost sounds like you're saying Iran's kind of like that dude in the bar who's just kind of in the pack, but really doesn't like these folks, and they know their tensions are high, and all of a sudden they throw a punch, and they're just waiting for everyone else to go at it.
Yeah.
We have a
I
vested
don't know what to
interest.
say to that.
We have a
do have-
vested interest in the Middle East, Israel, whatever. It's just, you know.
We do have a vested interest to protect Israel, but I don't think, unless Israel is being attacked, I don't think you're going to see the U.S. do anything.
I think you're wrong there, sir. Seriously.
See?
I think he's posturing for another engagement. Honestly.
With Iran?
Iran, yeah.
If we have an engagement with Iran, it's not going to be with ground forces. It's going to be totally in the air, and we're just going to devastate their areas.
You know, they said that back in 2001, and I you know.
We didn't go into Iran either, did we?
No, but we did go to the Middle East, and for what?
Well, that had more to do with the fact that they came and attacked us.
It was hand jobs. That's what it was.
It's hand jobs.
It was, dude, this whole thing has been a nonstop circle jerk. If we would have fucking nuked them in the 80s, we wouldn't be having this problem.
Very true.
But
Hey,
we can't.
I was called what was a terrorist, a mass genocider when I said we should have freaking nuked Kandahar. The day after 9/11, we should have made a deal with the Russians and a deal with the Chinese. You get one nuke each. We're taking Kandahar. And as long as you don't hit one of our allies, if you want to use it on one of your other forces, because Russia had all sorts of problems in Chechnya, and China still has problems in Tibet, if they would have used one nuke each, that would have ended this crap.
Keep going, MC. I'm almost there. Keep going.
Well, since you're wanting to nuke the whole planet,
Wait a second.
We
Guys,
have
I think we
the
found
we
our
have the
Russian.
power.
Mad Dog, shut up.
No, wait a second. No, it's a question from the chat, asshole. And do I have to remind you it's my show, Wolfshot? Fucking hell. No.
Nigger.
Oh, that's 3. You get 20, so you got a ways to go.
We just spend them all too.
God damn it. No, Moz wants to know, nuke Palestine, yes or no? We had a big argument about Palestine the other night, but
I'm okay with
Yeah.
nuking Palestine.
Sure.
Nuke it all. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm so tired of this circle jerk. Seriously.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, to
I'm
me, I
sorry,
would say
MC.
quarantine.
It's a circle jerk.
Just quarantine the whole fucking place. It's Roach Motel. You can go in, but you ain't coming out. And just let them get on with their own shit, like you said, Wolf. You know, if they want to do that to each other, get right ahead. Why should we get
We can't-
involved? We just
well,
got to stop
unfortunately,
them
we
coming
can't.
out. We just don't want them infecting, right? It's like a cancer. You know, I mean, we can either extract the cancer with nukes, or we can contain it.
Well, speaking of circle
Containment.
jerks, why do we have to nuke every place?
That's what I mean. Use containment. You know,
Kick the
JT
lefty.
capture a few
No.
places.
Kick that lefty. He doesn't want to nuke anybody.
I mean, hey, Japan has done really well since we fucking nuked them. Okay?
You guys
It's a
don't
waste of
realize
nukes.
how much we should actually fear kaiju. Bad shit happens when nukes go off, man.
God.
Dude, no, seriously. I actually told my wife about what Cabbage said about nuking Japan, how it was a big show for Russia to show Russia, hey, we have huge cock now.
Mm-hmm.
No, where do you think he's hiding? Don't make Mount Fuji erupt. No,
Nuke Hawaii. Fuck it. I want my own Godzilla.
You watch Godzilla.
Well, if we're gonna go out there and start taking out little areas in the U.S. that need to be nuked, all right?
California.
I'm all for frickin' San Francisco and L.A. You know,
Yeah.
We'll even give you a 2-for-1 if you want.
Nuke Oregon.
Get fucked somehow for you see that?
Oh, I don't
Well,
care.
then,
I'll take
well-
one for the team.
I won't complain for the team. Fuck that.
Well, I bet you will, you dirty bastard. We're going to get rid of London and Birmingham. That'd be a twofer I'd be happy with. London and Birmingham.
If you
That'd
take
be
out
fine
London,
by me.
won't that take out of all your banking industries?
It's got to be worth it in the long run.
Sacrifices need to be made.
Right. You got to be pragmatic about these things.
Cabbage
I
is
would
one
say-
for the Fight Club solution to his bad credit.
I will
say,
approve.
No, go ahead.
I'm sure they got archives in Edinburgh or somewhere.
I will
would say
approve
nuke
any
going around,
nuking.
but no one knows where we are.
What's that, Adrian?
Oh, I was just going to say I will approve any nuking anywhere so long as one missile is reserved for Quebec.
See, he's willing to make a deal. This is how these things
so
get
you-
done.
Oh shit! My wife is giving me the dirtiest look right now.
So you're looking to commit nuclear seppuku.
Can we nuke them with dildos?
Oh,
Probably enjoy that.
I mean, why not? Fuck it.
Freshly
like-
dipped from California.
Yes, instead of MREs, we give them like dildo care packages.
Help me.
we dropped Pop-Tarts and peanut butter.
Radioactive dildos. It could work.
And like we drop like the
Oh.
500-gallon tub of lube from Amazon.
Okay.
Oh my
I just want to say to anybody listening, what we're talking about now is what happens when you watch too much anime.
Hey, we haven't even got to the tentacle porn yet.
Oh, thanks, Cabbage. We really needed to go there.
Here's a conspiracy theory. Last thing I heard Adrian say was "help me," and he just dropped out.
Oh shit!
His
Wife
wife
aggro.
probably got fucking mad.
Yeah.
He's currently experiencing female
He
abuse.
critically hit her.
She brought out the dildo for him.
He just got bludgeoned to death by a 12-inch cock.
Oh, she smacked it so hard his internet went out.
I leave the call for 2 seconds, and now you're talking about 12-inch cock.
No, we were afraid
We're
that you would
sorry we
be
left you out.
murdered.
What, Adrian? You haven't been on this stream before.
I know, right?
Fair enough. I should have known what I'm getting myself into.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Especially when you call "help me" and then you drop off.
I was saying help me because I thought my wife was about to kill me for saying nuke Quebec.
Yeah.
Oh, is she from Quebec?
Yep.
Oh,
And so is most of her family.
Oh,
Is it like, hey, I've got a French girlfriend, you know, she doesn't come down very often. Is that what this is?
A little bit.
Okay, good. Great.
She's in the going through her drawers right now looking for that freaking dildo.
She's got to prime that fucking tub of fucking lube from Amazon.
that fucking,
Okay,
oh my
alright.
god. That
Okay,
fucking-
moving on.
500
Moving on.
gallon.
I will never fucking forget that.
So, Gordon Ramsay, the fucking prick of a so-called chef, says he got rich in America because Americans know fuck all about good food. What say the panel? Are we really crappy people that just
Fuck
eat
that,
pizza
dude.
rolls?
I'm going to agree with Gordon Ramsay. Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Ramsey on that one.
He's right, but he's a dickhead
Hey,
to say
what
it.
the fuck is
He's
Canadian?
shitting on his own
No,
career.
I won't let this one
Classical
go.
cooking.
Canada knows more about food than fucking America. Give me a break.
Wait, hold on a second.
Wait.
okay. Now lines been crossed.
No, Adrian said Americans know fuck all. That would say Canadians know at least something, right?
Oh, not at all. We're about the same. Not at all. We're about the same thing. We have like burgers, and the only Canadian food is like poutine and beaver tails. So we're no better boat.
And horse. Don't forget
gumbo. What about
actually
gumbo?
moose?
Fucking,
I have to disagree. I think America, you've got your
Hamburgers, barbecue. I don't know.
Anything you can eat with your hands. You can
We even have vegetables. We have multiple styles of vegetables.
Yeah, but unfortunately, unfortunately, the problem with American food and American chocolate and stuff, it's all filled with that fucking corn syrup. If you actually used real sugar, things would taste better.
Like what freaking real sugar is. You think it comes from potatoes.
Voice.
you
Our
want to get
$5 footlongs no longer have yoga mat in our bread.
Don't you start? I will come over to whatever dusty sand bowl you live in and find you and
what?
Well, he's gonna give you AIDS.
No, he's gonna throw the dildo at you. That's what he's gonna do.
It's going to involve that big tub of lube.
He's going to fuck you with his radioactive 12-inch dildo.
Okay.
Jesus. I love how the fucking Brits are telling us how to cook. The guys put fucking vinegar in every dish.
Wait, what?
Oh no!
I like ketchup.
Okay, I'm sorry, but he goes on in Hell's Kitchen or whatever, and all these fucking American retards, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I have a phone call. Excuse me.
Oh, somebody's popular.
I hope Ramsey really fucked his career up with. Well, I think he has fucked his career up with it. I mean, it's just the most stupid, arrogant thing to say, I mean, he's got all those businesses, and then he tells Americans you're all a bunch of fucking idiots. It's like, good, boycott his fucking restaurants. The guy's a twat anyway.
Okay, so what the article? I read part of the article. I'm not gonna pull the fucker up because it's Gordon fucking Ramsay. Fuck that cunt. But anyway, he said he was in America at one of the restaurants, and this lady was having her Caesar salad boxed up, and he's like, "Oh man, it's not going to taste good later. It already has the dressing and stuff on it." She's like, "Oh, I'll eat it anyway." And that's when he knew Americans knew fuck all about good food. Fuck you, dude.
What?
We just don't want to waste our food, motherfucker. What if she's going to eat it in the car?
The lettuce soaks in the dressing.
Yeah, that is actually pretty fucking disgusting.
Fuck you, 40.
What?
You and Gordon Ramsay.
I don't want to eat fucking... Oh, whatever.
Yeah, it goes rancid pretty quick, especially in a hot car.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is fucking disgusting.
You guys, I want to hear Memes actually mad. He's getting passionate about food here. Memes.
Especially in a hot car. Don't you realize in America we have these things called air conditioning?
Well, that's what I said.
We're not fucking millionaires.
Oh, come on. Air conditioning is not a refrigerator. Air conditioning is low as the average temperature.
You just put it right in front of the fucking AC. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
we don't have AC. Use 480 AC.
Yeah, which it won't be. It'll be thrown on the side of the, on the passenger seat. It's going to be out in the sun, and the thing will probably give you fucking botulism by the end of the day.
Okay, Cabby Antoinette.
Cabbage.
I
don't know.
Filet mignon for all.
It's kind of like boxing up your takeout for Chinese food or whatever. Like, you usually eat it when you get home. I mean, you're not going to just let it sit around forever. I mean,
the thing is that Chinese food isn't. It's covered in sauces and not like any actual dairy products. Plus there's probably 6 million preservatives.
Sauce and Caesar dressing.
Pardon?
As opposed to Caesar dressing, which is not a sauce.
No, it's a dairy-based. It's like a dairy-based ranch product. That shit fucking. You leave it out in the sun for 10 minutes and it tastes like shit.
Where did the story say that she was leaving it in the sun anywhere?
No.
Nobody said that.
No, 40.
No,
40. You're thinking.
I made an assumption.
Caesar's more oil-based.
Well, here's the thing, right? Does it take you fucking? Never mind. I'm not doing this. I'm not.
I think he was being.
You guys are getting passionate about this salad, and it's my favorite kind of
food.
Salad.
Food is one of the 3 things that cut across all of humanity.
I think, yeah, but look, Gordon Ramsay is just being a dick. He's taking an award for his achievements, and then just spits in the face of the people that he's meant to have been entertaining. I don't.
He said this after getting an award.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
it was at an award
yeah.
ceremony when
Yeah.
he tells people you're all fucking morons.
No, an article goes on. The article goes on to say that he bought his family an $8.1 million house in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Oh, we have such shite food. We don't know nothing about food, right?
Hold on. Here's the thing, right? I'm okay if he spits in people's faces. He just can't spit in my face. Okay, that's my fucking standard.
Only if your mouth's open, you sickie.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, we can't even have a conversation about food without fetuses showing up.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I
Fetuses.
think we left voice hanging because we switched to food. He's like, "Oh, bring back the nukes." I was almost there.
Well, you can put in the microwave. You're right.
Okay.
We need to go on to a different topic. I'm getting fucking pissed.
All right.
This next one will add right to it. Don't worry.
We're sticking on the food subject here. So a woman got arrested for murder. She gave her husband a overdose of heroin, and that wasn't good enough. She proceeded to smother him with a pillow. Well, that was in 2015. So she just admitted to also killing her ex-lover and feeding him to her neighbors and friends at a barbecue.
Oh,
yeah. So we're going into
June.
June, and everyone's having their block parties and neighborhood barbecues. Just remember this story, and don't go to Indiana because that's where it happened. I'm not eating any barbecue out of Indiana. No, thank you.
What, a little cannibalism never hurt anybody?
Well, you guys are talking about how we don't know shit about freaking food. At least we're willing to experiment now. Come on.
Well, here, she's the ultimate, green person. Like, don't waste anything. I'm just saying.
Waste not, want not. So they agree.
Solve the homeless problem tomorrow. No one ever go hungry.
I want to know. So does human not have a different taste? Because how did these people eat it and not go, well, that doesn't taste like beef ribs?
Because fuck all about food.
I don't think that there's too many people with dietary predilections for eating human beings to be able to describe the taste. Could be wrong.
Voice.
Might just taste like chicken. Who knows?
Voice. We all know what goes on in your shed. What does human taste like? Does it taste like chicken?
He's a potato eater. He doesn't even frickin' know what meat tastes like. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, MC. I have a lot of respect for you, but if that's the worst insult you can come up with, a potato, I'm severely disappointed.
I'll think of another one later. I won't be so disappointing.
Good.
Mad Dodge, I don't see what the problem is with that story. I mean,
You don't see a problem with the story?
Yeah.
Christ.
MC, you're talking to Cabbage. Did you really think he would have a problem with it?
Making America tasty again. Perfectly reasonable. You see, I put it down. Yeah, they didn't know because of the Caesar salad, the Caesar sauce that they put over. The rancid Caesar sauce.
Meaning to the word McRib.
Oh, dude, the McRib is amazing.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, I was hoping they would bring that back this summer because they do that like every other year, but not anymore. Thanks a lot. Rest in peace, McRib. You're dead to me.
Fucking good. Shit's nasty, dude. Oh, good. So now we're gonna start fighting over the fucking McRib.
Dude.
We need to change something. The stream's getting too fucking fat.
All right. First of all, the McRib sandwich, if you've never had one, right, is typical of most things from McDonald's. In that, okay, you got a McRib, and then they throw pickles on it. Who the fuck throws pickles on a freaking rib?
No, not even pickles. No, and not even. No, here's the thing,
Egg
right?
kosher.
The one time,
Dildo pickle.
the one time I got a fucking McRib, it didn't even have pickles. It had a pickle. It had one thin slice of fucking pickle.
You must have been
Is that what you're
traumatized.
I
Did you get counseling?
I was fucking.
You know, if you walked in and said, "I only got one pickle," they'd probably give you more pickles.
No. The onus. Listen.
Probably give
the
you his
onus
own
is on
pickle.
them. They fucked up. You can't make it the fucking first time. I don't expect you to
You do
it correctly.
realize they had over like 1 billion served like 30 years ago, man.
Yeah, well, they're
I
fucking
go into
slacking.
Wendy's if they forget my sauce occasionally. I just pop in. I'm like, "Can I get some sauce?" And they usually give me extra.
They had
Well,
1
no.
million served back 20 years ago. It took them that long to sit up there and get 1 million served.
Well, the thing is, with,
McDonald's
like,
can do that in a night.
the thing is with McDonald's, like, I used to work there, so I know they'll have hamburgers sitting there for 30, 40 minutes just ready, like McDoubles or whatever, the quick shit. So when you go in and order like a McChicken and you want it cooked fresh, just say extra mayo and no lettuce, add cheese. And then they have to actually make the fucker themselves.
Oh, my dad always
It's
said no
fresh.
onion.
Well, yeah, either way, they have to make the fucker. It's not just one sitting there for 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
And now we're in the culinary section of the Mad Dog stream.
Yeah, you can thank Gordon Ramsay's
and-
podcast.
There you go. Well, oddly enough, I think Gordon Ramsay's not actually so bad anymore. I think you might have something.
Well, that's
You might be onto something.
After this conversation, you may think you're
Yeah.
thinking the issue.
I was actually siding with America at one point.
Actually,
and now you-
I have to say, no. Have any of you ever seen a show called Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
actually,
Guy
on
Fieri, and
Netflix.
I'm gonna show you diners, drive-ins, and dives.
No, it's a fucking great show. I mean, that's one thing. I don't really eat a lot of this. What would you say, the conglomerate fast food like McDonald's and stuff. But I always try and go to the local chippy, and just by the amount of cool places I've seen in that show, I'm surprised more of you don't go to the local places.
Actually, funny enough, I was up in when I was in high school, I got a summer job up in Tahoe doing construction, and it turns out Guy Fieri actually did go to one of the local burger joints, and they had a buffalo burger, the same burger he tried. And I got to eat the burger. It was so fucking good, dude.
Guy Fieri
Oh
has
my
his own
God.
burger chain.
No, it
Well,
wasn't.
that-
It wasn't his burger chain. It was a restaurant in that city that he went to, and like there was a signed picture of him on the wall and everything. It was actually pretty fucking cool.
Oh, dude, the local places are always the best. But what I'm saying is he actually has his own like restaurant chain specializing in a bit more high-end burgers. One of my former roommates used to work there. And to be fair, you got to give the guy the credit, because if you're an employee for Guy Fieri's burger chain, you're considered a ninja.
What?
Your job title is
By who?
ninja.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
Good God. That's sad.
That's a little weird.
Sad.
What?
I mean,
Properly sad. I mean, really, that is so sad.
What, are they going to call you a burgerologist?
yeah, I mean, shit, that's a step up.
Fuck that. I'll be a ninja any day.
Yeah, but you have to remember that if someone's order comes back wrong, you have to commit suicide.
No, it's samurai.
Yeah, yes.
Pop
Wrong.
smoke disappears.
No, it's samurai. He was wrong. Ninja don't follow that code.
No, they have no code. They're Ronin.
No honor whatsoever.
They're
Is
just
that what you're saying?
backstabbing little weasels.
Hey, don't hate on the Foot Clan.
Oh,
Shredder
So
will
this is
rise.
degenerated again. What's the
Yeah,
next
fucking
subject?
has. We need to get back onto fucking politics or
I
something. I don't even.
got back to the fucking Ninja Turtle show. What the fuck's going on here?
Turtle power.
Blame beans.
Turtle soup.
All right, so MC shared something about a post that is what the Donald Trump aide said something about the great senator from Arizona, McCain,
Yeah.
dying soon.
Oh my god, I fucking loved this. I saw
Okay.
this on the news and I fucking shat my pants laughing.
All right. A report. The report is about they were discussing apparently the impending vote on the CIA director, the female CIA director. Right? And McCain has made a public statement saying that he would not endorse her because she endorsed torture. Right? Other people have come back and said, you know, they're gonna vote for her, et cetera, et cetera. But during a apparently conversation within the Trump administration, one of the people said, well, McCain doesn't matter. All right, he's going to die soon anyway. All right, now the press went absolutely berserk, screaming, "How dare you mock the death of McCain?" Well, first of all, he's not dead yet, and number two is how is that mocking? It's not like he was going into spasms or walking around going, he's going to die soon anyway. It's like, good freaking God. They're freaking having a conniption fit about the man. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy is dying. He does have terminal cancer, right? And I don't think that anybody needs to be, quote unquote, mocked for that. But that's not mocking. That's just analysis of a program that's going forward. Well, you think it's mocking?
You can't have a puppet cancer. What can you do? Come on.
It's not that McCain doesn't deserve to be mocked as well, but at the same time, they're making a mountain out of a molehill. It's like they're so desperate.
Molehill. Right. Well, that's how it started. One little mole.
Well, that's how AIDS starts.
Just a lesion.
I thought those were chimps.
God damn it, memes! I caught that.
Yeah, but no. It's. I mean, the dude has cancer. The dude is.
Well, no, but it's just like I don't understand why they're getting grilled for this. I mean, it's a fucking.
Well, why would they say that in a public conversation?
I don't think it was a public.
It wasn't a public conversation. It was the administration discussing it internally and got quote unquote leaked to the press.
Okay, so who's a little snitch ass bitch?
Sure, it was leaked.
No, who's the snitch ass bitch?
It wasn't a leak. It was just a colostomy bag that was ill-fitted.
No, if I was the president, I'd be looking around me and I'd be like, "Who's the snitch? You know, who's the little snitch ass bitch in here that fucking leaked the joke?"
No, I tend to agree with Boyce. I really think that many of the stories that have been leaked actually probably came from President Trump.
No, I don't think so.
No, excuse me. No, I stand corrected. They actually came from John Miller.
If Trump wanted to do it, he would just tweet it. I don't think he'd be shy about it.
No. You forget Trump is an OG troll. He has called into places before. Well, not Trump, but John Miller has a very close, very good buddy of Donald Trump and given very rave reviews of Donald Trump and very similar Donald Trump cadences.
Okay, but what does that have to do with Trump being afraid of tweeting about John McCain?
Well, here's my thing.
Well, you don't just say some shit. You just kind of leak it out, and then you act outraged.
No, here's my thing. Though.
They're not acting outraged. Nobody cares.
There was and everybody was in the room. It was probably a joke. They probably laughed because, fuck McCain. He's been a dick the whole time. Fuck him. And then some asshole was like, well, give me $50 or whatever. It's probably more like 500, and I'll leak you the latest gossip out of the fucking Oval Office. Here's this. They made.
Well, in that case, it was probably an intern then or something. It's probably an intern. If you're working on that principle,
that's
going to be the person
illegal.
with at least.
You're taking cash for information. Isn't that treason?
Fuck off. All they're doing, everything they do in fucking DC is illegal. Give me a break.
No, you need to get creative about it so it falls within the law, air quotations.
Whatever. Look at Seth Rich. He committed suicide with a gun to the back of the head. That's fucking rich.
No, he was murdered.
It was the same. It was the same magic bullet from JFK.
Yeah. He was murdered in a robbery that left his wallet, his Rolex.
His Rolex. Yeah.
All the money.
They didn't want to kill the dude because then they get in trouble. Most folks would probably just hand over this shit when you got a gun in your face. He was drunk and paranoid and probably
in his face.
What?
He got shot in the back.
Oh. Maybe he's trying to do a roundhouse kick. I don't fucking know.
Dude, okay. Fucking slow down,
Back to the
Miyagi.
ninja.
He suddenly turned into Bruce Lee. Yeah.
Chuck Norris.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles played in the background.
Oh God, we're defaming a dead man.
Oh, shit.
He's
No,
fine.
no.
It's not like he's
I'm
gonna
on-
fucking know about it.
I'm on Seth Rich's side. I think the Clintons fucking did it, and I think he leaked the email scandal.
How are you on his side? Are you dead with him?
Yep. This is the BBC. That's right.
Oh,
Coming to
MDG
you
wants
from
too
the
much
afterlife.
sticks. He actually killed that mountain lion. And he's sacrificing it tonight.
Gonna bring back the dead soul of Seth Rich.
God damn. Okay. All right. We're done.
Time for the seance. Let's get the seance
Yeah.
going, guys.
No. This is degenerated.
Yeah, the Ouija board.
Guai fighties out. Yumo guai fighties out.
Oh, somebody ba.
En el nefrach usrasvelen.
To be fair,
Okay.
okay, Crowley, calm down.
We're all terrible people.
Brains.
We just had a discussion about throwing nukes around like it was water, and you're gonna go back and go, "Oh, we're terrible people."
That's fair. Okay, so since we degenerated into Seth Rich, let's actually get a little serious on that, because we've never talked about that on the show. I don't think. Do you believe he was murdered because he leaked the Hillary Clinton scandal out? I do. Let's say the panel. Let's start with Adrian. You don't talk much.
Well, I got to admit that I don't know too much about the Seth Rich case offhand, but it's not the first time that people that have worked for the Clintons have suddenly turned out dead, so I would not be surprised. I wish I had more to give, but I honestly don't know much about the Seth Rich case.
Correlation does not equal causation. I tend to believe that there's a high probability that he was the guy that actually leaked a lot of those DNC emails. Do I necessarily think he was murdered by the Clinton campaign? I have no fucking idea. I kind of doubt it. I actually looked at the map where he was going through it. It was kind of a high crime area. There had been other instances of shootings and robberies in the previous weeks. So, I mean, I have no idea.
Well, here's the thing when people are talking about the leaks that happened from the DNC. People analyzed the Redbeard knew far more about it, but me and him did a video where we were analyzing the specifics of the case, the megabyte download speed and everything like that, not what files were taken, but at which rate the files were taken and everything like that. And me and Redbeard got to talking about it. And the thing is that the megabyte download speed of the files was apparently incredibly fast. Now, this is something you can't achieve over Wi-Fi, for instance. So hypothetically speaking, Hillary Clinton keeps going on about, oh, I was hacked by the Russians, we need to go like nuke Moscow or something like that. The Russians would not have a connection that good to download files at that rate.
What was the rate?
I fucking don't remember. Honestly, I'd have to go back to Redbeard's channel, and it was a video literally 4 or 5 months ago.
Because with a 5.11 AC router, about 150 feet from one end of my office to the other, through a brick wall, I could still get around 147 megabits per second with 150 Mbps standard download speed. Yeah,
no, I get around. I mean, honestly, my internet's not that good, but I get 70, 80 Mbps. But I could have swore it was in no, it wasn't in the 200s. But nevertheless, Redbeard was saying that it was an abnormally high Mbps, and essentially you could really only attain that if you had a USB plugged into something and you were manually downloading it to some kind of external memory stick or something like that. So the probability of the Russians actually remotely hacking into some kind of server, downloading that shit, he was saying that it was practically improbable.
I thought the password was Obama 08.
Well, the password was Obama 08, yes. But I mean,
nobody could ever guess that. Well,
no, of course not. But I mean, if you want to take download speeds into account, I mean, I doubt the fucking government in my own town has MBPS that fucking good. I probably have better internet than my local fucking government. So, I mean, if you want to talk about governments downloading shit, I mean, fuck's sake. I mean, there is shit that doesn't really add up, you know, according to what the Clinton campaign wants to say. That's essentially the point that I'm trying to make.
So yeah, so what you're saying is somebody could have plugged in a flash drive or whatever and manually picked and chose the email files and dropped them in and then released them later, not hacking it from a foreign country or something like that, bouncing off of servers and doing all this other crazy shit. Cabbage, you know a little bit more about tech. What say you? Have you seen anything really into this case?
Well, yeah. How do you know the transfer rate that was used unless it was over a router? If it was a straight copy, like from a hard drive onto a USB stick, there's no bits per second transfer rate that gets stamped on the transfer of that data. I don't get it. I mean, if you're going to say that there is a transfer rate, then there must be some way of it being recognized that it was transferred in a certain amount of time. You don't get that with a copy. It must have gone over routers to have been identified.
Well, but what if you're not necessarily making copies, but just downloading the original file onto the memory stick? You know, I mean, if you're talking about literally tens of thousands of files.
The only thing you've got then is the date and timestamp. There's no, transfer rate attached to it, in the file attribute table.
Coffee with Comment is in the chat section. He says the security software should be able to track that. So maybe it's a stamp from the security software. The FBI could get all sorts of information, And this was in the release.
There could be a history of access to the file. That would be logged. And so when the file is opened and then when it's reclosed again, which would occur during a transfer of data onto a memory stick, if they're doing that kind of hooks into the operating system. But the file itself doesn't prove that. That's what I mean. I'm just wondering where the data about this transfer rate is coming from. Because if it wasn't transmitted, then it must come from a source like that. Because the file itself, there's no metadata or there's no file attribute that provides for the transfer speed of the file.
Well, yeah, and Coffee followed that up with the FBI didn't get to the servers, so any release of this would have been through a third party. So it'd been the software security probably releasing that. That's my ending that I added on to what he said, but that would be my thought, is that the stamp came from the security software that they were using, which was over internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was over an internet connection, right? So there's actual proof of the file being opened remotely, and then being transferred.
Well, honestly, I just found out what paint was last year, so you guys got to be patient with my fucking autism. As far as I know, there is an MBP. There is a specific metric of MBPS that is associated with the download of these files. So it's possible that I'm misremembering. Maybe it was a local download over just like Wi-Fi or something like that. But I mean, if you want to talk about distance and everything.
Yeah, well, distance really. I mean, if it's more about as to whether or not it was remotely accessed or whether it was done like on a memory stick, plugging a physical memory stick into a piece of equipment. There would be no way of having an MBPS on that. The only thing you would get is a creation date, a modified date, and you could look at the difference between those two, but it would only be down to the second, not the millisecond. Like I said, there's no. So if there is an MBPS, then it must have gone over a network. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Well, no, and Seth Rich was an intern, right? I think, or a low-level staffer. So I doubt he would have the balls to plug in a memory stick. Now that I think about it.
I mean, it'd be the easiest and quickest and simplest way of doing it, and it would have left less trail. especially doing the. I mean,
Oh, you're breaking up, Cabbage.
Well, I'm saying,
Oh,
you know, the bloody. It was in the toilet anyway, wasn't it? The server.
Yeah, the server and all the phones, everything got destroyed, which was really weird. And moving on to Seth Rich's murder. Okay. It's really weird that he was killed in a robbery, a botched robbery. But they killed him, and they still didn't take his wallet, like MC said. They didn't take the Rolex on his wrist. They didn't take his credit cards. They didn't take anything. It sounds more like a hit job. DC is a violent place, but that's why it'd be easier to do a hit there, right?
But
what say
but
you guys?
if you're trying to have a hit and you want to make it look like a robbery, wouldn't you go out of your way to take the stuff?
Yeah.
I suppose that's a good point. I don't know. I mean, how do you explain it then? Some 14-year-old gangbanger shot him and ran off?
See what I'm thinking? I'm trying to put myself like in the shoes, like, all right, I'm out with a buddy. I got a pistol. I'm trying to get some money for a fix or something like that. You're going out there. Oh, hey, this dude looks nice and everything. Oh, he's got some stuff. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, let's just rob this dude. Paul going, hey, buddy, give me all your money. He kind of turns, takes a swing because he's paranoid. He starts running away. All of a sudden, you're jostled. You're not used to handling a firearm. A round or so goes off. You're like, fuck, we may have killed him. Let's get out of here.
No, I don't think so. That makes very little sense, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think if at that point, if you've done the crime, you may as well grab what little bit you can get out of it. I mean,
well, see, here's the thing. I tend to lean a bit more there after I looked at like the data, like the crime statistics for the area he was cutting through. It was quite high. There had been other robberies. There had been other people killed there in the recent weeks. That's why I'm saying it is a potentially plausible scenario. But again, I wasn't fucking there. I have no idea.
Well, none of us do. But I mean, if you're going to play, well, what if scenarios? There's lots of what if scenarios that will justify what happened. Right. The question, but that doesn't. But none of that explains why the police department, the Washington D.C. Police Department, has acted the way they have.
Well, there's killers on the loose, dude. You don't want killers on the loose. It doesn't matter what the fuck they killed him for. They killed a man.
Okay, so then why are you dropping the investigation?
What?
Exactly.
Yeah, take a look.
Yeah,
take a look at how the DC police are treating this. They're not even treating it as an investigation. They just basically ignored it.
Are they treating it like they treat similar cases?
No, they're don't.
No, that's a problem then.
Brushing it under the carpet.
That's concerning.
They're brushing it under the carpet.
See, it's not just the fact that the guy got shot. It's also the fact that there has been people coming out saying, well, we want to investigate this, and then getting contacted by the DNC saying stay out of it. Doesn't the DC
still have like somebody's laptop or something like that? Was it Debbie Wasserman Schultz or something like that? She had a couple of IT guys that apparently we're sending files to Pakistan or something.
That's another issue that's going on.
But wasn't she head of the DNC at one point?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, so wouldn't she have certain information pertaining to that?
It's possible. Good luck getting any information from her.
No. But I'm talking about like if her laptop's in DC police custody. I mean, wouldn't you need that for like the Russia investigation as well? Because it would be associated, I thought.
Okay, and who's doing the investigation?
I thought they dropped it.
Yeah. Well, who's doing the
FBI?
Oh, the Mueller Council and shit like that.
How about that? Amazing.
Oh.
The same people who.
Well, they forgot. Somebody should tweet at them. Oh no!
Yeah, get an early morning visit.
People and stuff.
Get yourself an early morning wake up call.
Well, yeah. The thing is, though,
Tweet the FBI.
as Adrian has said earlier, a lot of people connected to the Clintons have wound up dead. This man was connected to the Clintons. He was a mid to low level staffer, and he was found killed. They call it a robbery. Nothing was stolen, and they dropped the case and don't really seem to give two shits. To me, that sounds like some palm greasing and politicking by the police chief. What say you guys?
Oh, there's definitely politics being played in this. All right. I mean, whether this is just a robbery gone bad or anything else, this makes the Clintons look bad. Okay. So.
Oh, well, no. It makes the
Politics
Clintons look worse. I mean, they already look bad. It's just an extra layer of shit on the cake.
Well, I mean, it's not good for the Clintons. Let's leave it at that. How's that? Okay, so, and unfortunately, the DC culture is not intending. You know, I mean, the DC culture as a whole wants to do everything they can to protect the Clintons. They have since the 1990s.
Well, DC culture has been kind of taken over by the Democratic Party anyway. Doesn't the District of Columbia vote Democrat usually?
Oh yeah, they're
That's
heavily
like
Democrat.
it's like 90% or some crazy wild shit like that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like 90%, but you know,
Which is why it also has the highest crime rate in the country.
Well, the thing is, though, I think
Oh, no.
conservatives,
There's a lot of
conservatives and
insane
stuff,
areas.
they leave and they go back home. But Democrats like the DC culture. They like well, sorry to say it, the corruption, and they stay. Look at Obama; he ain't going back to Illinois.
There's plenty of GOP people that stay there too. So I mean, it's a swamp. You get stuck there. You're part of the swamp. That's the way it is. Whether you came there as a conservative,
Whatever happened to draining it?
Ex-President Obama bought a giant house and built a wall around it to stay in D.C. Ex-President Bush went home to Texas. That's all I'm saying.
President Bush had a badass ranch.
he did.
Well, here's the thing.
Right?
Do we really think? Do we really think that most of these people, and again, they're always going to be sleazeballs wherever and shit like that. They're going to take advantage of the system. But do we really think that most of these people really went in there saying, you know what? I really just want to fuck everyone over. I doubt that, dude. I still think most folks are good people. It's just, I think no, Cabbage, hold on. Let me finish my point real quick. I think it's really just kind of a symptom of the system itself, in that I had a friend, she actually studied politics, she actually went down there. This actually happens to be a very liberal friend as well, and she said when she went down there, she's like, yeah, there's a lot of like really good high paying jobs and stuff, but she's just like, it's just the system, it really just seems to just push a very buddy, you know this person, I know this person, oh, I have this on you. So it's basically just, it's the system feeding into itself and becomes a self-perpetuating thing. Because I believe most folks are good people, but if you get into that, and once you get so deep into that, like how the hell do you get out?
Well, also, it's the old saying that those who seek power should be denied it, right? Because most of the people who go after this stuff are looking out not to help the people, but to feather their own nest. It's all about networking, like you said. Well, we used to call it the old boys network or the old boys
connections.
You know.
Well, I can't remember the Latin. So, I can't remember the Latin phrase for it, but I remember the English translation: the will to dominate.
In Vino Veritas.
There you go, and that really
that's
persuasive throughout the whole underbelly of politics.
The job itself attracts the like-minded, and they all think that they know best as how to do things for the people. They don't really listen to the people. They have their own opinions, and then they try and convince other people that they're actually doing it in their interests. But they know they're not. I mean, that's always been the case.
Yeah, but then you get
it's always been. But
then you get the standouts. You get the actual statesmen. So, I mean, if government...
Yeah, well, when did we last have one of them?
Ron Paul, Rand is in there right now, in my opinion.
No, I don't know about Rand. Ron was all right, yeah.
But, I mean, really, if government is a necessary evil, well, then how can we contain the evil? Because government has a will of its own, and it has a tendency to grow and to dominate naturally. That's what it does.
By taking its money away, that's how you curtail it. That's why they always fight for more taxes, more money. The money is their power base.
What say the rest of you? What say the rest of you? 40, and then Adrian.
I don't know.
Okay.
Listen, if sorry, what was that?
Well, no, and I was just going to pose it a little bit different way. If the will to dominate is already a natural tendency of government in of itself, then how exactly can you curtail that short of taking all taxes away? Like, because cut their money off. Cabbage is right, but they won't let you do that, and they have the force of the government. They've already grown out of hand. So how do you necessarily get the people in there that don't have the will to dominate because they don't want the post to begin with?
Okay, here's the thing.
You do it by lottery, mate.
No, here's
tested in Greece, and it worked.
Here's the thing, and this is the problem I have with ANCAPs. They view the government as an entity removed from I don't want to say the human condition. They view government as an entity removed from human nature, to some degree, right? They think, okay, well, the government's big, evil, wants to eat your money, it wants to spend money on frivolous projects, which is true to some degree. But then they'll turn around and say, well, the average person is just a honky-dory, jolly thing, and they just want to live their life and have their small business. And that's not the case. You have to understand that governments are still made up of people. And so what does that tell us? That tells us that human nature is domineering. And this is what we've done to each other for centuries. This is how empires are raised. This is how armies are conscripted. It's through dominance. When Romans are going into Gaul and they're going into the Iberian Peninsula, what are they doing along the way? They're assimilating conquered tribes, and they're conscripting those people to grow their army, to make it bigger, a bigger population to tax. That's how things, look at the Assyrians and the Babylonians.
Okay, that's
what we've
fair.
done for centuries.
No, that's fair, 40. But what I'm saying is the people have a natural tendency to dominate. I am accepting that. But I'm also saying that we are at a point in our history, if we're going to advance any further, we need to figure out how to control our government and have individuals rise and more or less control things. I'm not going to support ANCAP. I'm saying the government isn't necessarily evil. But the thing is, you got to contain that people.
Yeah, but they have to go through the establishment process, and that process, even if you start off with the best intentions, and you can see this with, certain politicians, that you can tell that they began, with all good intentions, and they were honest and, square people. And then as they go through the process, they become corrupted. The process of gaining the power becomes inherently corrupting. Like joining a cartel. You have to commit a crime in order to be allowed onto the next, the next level up or whatever. So that's how you level up.
Crimes, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's intrinsic in the very process that's there in the establishment, unfortunately, or it certainly seems to be.
Okay.
Well, on top of...
Yeah, Adrian, I was going to pass it to you, and I'm going to, go ahead. You already had something, so...
Well, on top of that, again, I do agree with both 40 and Cabbage. 40 was talking about the money, and Cabbage was talking about the corruption of power. The other thing is I find that the humans seem to have, well, there are those that want to dominate. There's also those that just want to, follow. There seems to be a lot of people that are okay to let others take the reins, and they'll just follow along with it, how everything goes. And in modern day, I think one of the problems, as much as it's one of our great advantages for people doing this sort of independent thing, also one of probably our greatest weaknesses is the internet, because you also have to control the information. So we have that advantage because it's the internet is is less regulated right now. It doesn't have a lot of regulation. So we have that access to information, but so does the government. They also have access to our information. And actually, one thing, I guess, going back, just quick question before I continue, was Seth Rich worked for NGP Van, right? No? Yes?
Oh, I'm not sure exactly. I thought he was a staffer for the Clinton campaign, but you might be right. He might have worked for...
I thought he worked for the DNC.
Yeah. Maybe it was, but either way, it's NGP Van, which is this software platform. It deals with digital engagement, fundraising, and compliance. It's mostly with the Democratic campaigns, and it's connected...
But the reason for that is the reason they're involved in that is because the servers were turned over to them, not the FBI, and they were the ones that quote unquote did the forensics on it.
The DNC, you mean?
Yes. When the DNC, remember when everyone said the DNC was hacked? The FBI said, well, give us the server. And they said, no, we don't trust you. And they gave it to this other group.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just the other reason I was bringing up NGP Van is because I know it has the connection to the Center of American Progress. And which might be a little bit fun, a little weirder, is NGP Van is also connected with my current government right now. There's a server right now for the Liberal Party called the Liberal List, and it's supposed to be a server for the Liberal Party's their identification and relation management system. And you know who runs that? They have a connection with? NGP Van. And one thing that I'm just working on this story right now. I've been chasing the story for a little bit. That I believe what these servers really are doing is they're building profiles on individual citizens that they have inside their server in order to target them when it comes to election time. For me, I just find that I wouldn't have thought much about NGP Van, but when I saw that it had a connection to the Center of American Progress, at the same time, it has the exact same connection to a server in my country, both for left-wing parties. It seems to me like this might be sort of a version of information warfare that's just coming up in the future.
That's very believable.
During election time.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't doubt that at all.
And if this is sort of the type of information that Seth Rich came across, it definitely could be something that he would be murdered over.
Yeah, no, and even his family isn't accepting what the police are saying about it, and I wouldn't either. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, but their family is also sitting up there making sure that a DNC lawyer is there every time they speak to the public as well.
Yeah, and they keep saying, "Oh, don't do an investigation," and we all know who's wanting them to say that. So, like the family keep telling people not to do fucking independent investigations.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to look at it from their perspective as well. I mean, they're tired of their son being used as a political football too. I'm sure. You know, they're grieving. You gotta understand grieving families and how they approach it.
Yeah, no, and look at us. We're talking about it too. Alex Jones talks about it a lot. I mean, so yeah, I mean,
I refuse.
Oh shit! Have we reached Alex Jones status?
Oh shit! Have we?
Ah, damn it!
No, not even close. I don't sell water filters yet. Give me a break.
I am not.
They're turning the frogs gay.
Have you got your male vitality?
Oh, actually, just the other day. I was just going to say quickly, the other day I was watching a dude who decided to take Alex Jones's health advice for 30 days, like taking all the supplements, probiotics, all that shit. And he just said like he paid probably 3 times what he should have paid for market value, and it did absolutely nothing for him. Like he didn't get any, he didn't find that he got any more muscle mass. He didn't get, one thing was supposed to help grow a healthy head of hair. This guy was bald. He didn't have any hair at the end of it all. So Alex Jones is just selling snake oil.
Yeah.
No kidding. What a surprise. Color me surprised.
Well, yeah, and I would like to say, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't take one of those water filters out to a fucking puddle and drink from it, all right? I don't trust that fucking straw filter. I don't know.
Oh, the life straw, actually. That is a pretty clever invention. Does that
work? You can literally drink from fucking puddles and shit?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I mean...
Are you desperate enough to try and drink water from a puddle?
No. No.
Approach it from that standpoint. I mean, if the world ends... Right, if the balloon goes up and everybody's freaking, struggling for things, then you may get that desperate.
Yeah.
Until then, don't.
If I don't get nuked,
not intended to be your first choice.
No, if I don't get nuked, I'm good. They actually bottle the water out of the Mackenzie River and sell it, so I'm pretty golden. The river's clean.
Okay, with the hippies around there and your area. You don't think it'd be crowded with a bunch of people just peeing and pooping in the frickin' river?
Not after I claimed it for the Confederacy and killed them all. I mean, I never thought
Jesus. You are delusional.
I don't know. I think he's onto something.
I'm not letting hippies overtake my river.
You.
Are you kidding me?
Bless you.
No, but yeah, moving on from Seth Rich, blah. Ibsy, any other stories you saw today? I saw you posted a couple.
Well, a letter has now been delivered to. Let me pull this up here.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping you would bring up because I read the first part of the letter. I didn't read the second, but I'm pretty sure you could give us a synopsis.
Congress has sent a letter to Mr. Rosenstein and Mr. Ray. All right, and
Oh.
in this case, it says, "Dear Deputy Attorney General Rothstein and Director Ray, on February 15th, 2017, this committee requested on a bipartisan basis a copy of the transcript of the widely reported call between Lieutenant General Michael Flynn and the Russian ambassador and the FBI report summarizing the intercepted call. The Justice Department declined to provide any information, and instead, then FBI Director Comey provided a wide-ranging briefing to us on March 15th. Notice it's an entire month later, 2017, that touched on the Flynn issues. Like the Flynn interview itself, the briefing was not transcribed. Okay, now this is kind of important for a lot of reasons. Remember that part. Okay. Also, like the Flynn interview, there were notes taken by a career nonpartisan law enforcement officer who was present. The agent was on detail to the committee staff at the time. According to that agent's contemporaneous notes, Director Comey specifically told us during that briefing that the FBI agents who interviewed Lieutenant General Michael Flynn saw nothing that led them to believe he was lying. Our own committee staff notes indicate that Mr. Comey said the agent saw no change in his demeanor or tone that would say that he was being untruthful. Contrary to his public statements during his current book tour denying any memory of those comments, then Director Comey led us to believe during the briefing that the agents who interviewed Flynn did not believe he intentionally lied about his conversation with the ambassador and that the Justice Department was unlikely to prosecute him for false statements made in that interview. The month. Okay.
Is there a fucking moose in the background? What the fuck is that? I've been hearing that for a minute.
It sounded like a car. I just muted him. Go ahead.
I think that's Wolfie.
In the months since, the special counsel obtained a guilty plea from Lieutenant General Flynn for that precise alleged conduct. Okay. The department has withheld the Flynn-related documents since our initial bipartisan request last year, citing an ongoing criminal investigation. With Flynn's plea, the investigation appears concluded. Additionally, while we are aware that the special counsel's office has moved to delay Lieutenant General Flynn's sentencing on several occasions, we presume that all related records already have been provided to the defense pursuant to the Judge Sullivan's February 16th, 2018 order requiring the production of all potentially exculpatory material. Thus, although the case is not yet adjudicated, the committee's oversight interest in the underlying documents requested more than a year ago now outweighs any legitimate executive branch interest in withholding it. So, too does the committee's interest in learning the FBI agent's actual assessment of their interview of Lieutenant General Flynn's, particularly given the apparent contradiction between the then Director Comey told us in March 2017 and what he now claims. Accordingly, no later than May 25th, 2018, please provide 1. The information requested from our February 15, 2017 letter, including the transcripts of the reportedly intercepted calls and any FBI reports summarizing them. And 2, the FBI agents 302's memorialization of their interview of Flynn and the 1A supporting documents, including the agent's notes. In addition, please make Special Agent Joe, I can't pronounce this guy's name, it's Pientka, All right, available for a transcribed interview with the committee staff no later than 1 week following the production of the requested documents. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to basically call us. Signed, Charles Grassley. All right. In other words, this is the Senate's investigation.
So,
and now the Senate is demanding, give us the documents.
Well, hold on. And one thing I caught was that Comey's latest testimony supposedly contradicts his earlier testimony. So, can they even try and get him with charges? I mean, this is the Senate. It's not like he's testifying before the Supreme Court or anything.
No, yeah. If he was under oath, lying to the Congress is perjury, and you can be prosecuted for it. All right. Now, here's the problem that they got. Like the Flynn interview itself, the briefing was not transcribed. Okay. If that's the case, all right, from what you guys were saying, that the briefing that you did for Lieutenant Flynn wasn't transcribed, all right, how are you charging him with lying? You have zero freaking evidence that he lied. You're saying that during the interview he lied to these people. Well, how do you know that? You have nothing that said of what he said. Okay, it's obvious now that this whole thing is going to be falling apart, right? And that they're trying to protect people within the administration, within the Justice Department, I mean, and the FBI, that they don't give a shit. This is not a national security issue. That this is a protection of people that did malfeasance within the Justice Department and within the FBI. And there was another report that recently came out suggesting more than anything else, that during the campaign, all right, during the campaign season, that the FBI had planted a mole inside of the campaign headquarters of Trump. Okay. Now, we don't know if this is true. There's just supposition going on, okay, where is this information? Because they're not being given it.
Yeah, let's be honest, though. Probably fucking happened.
And there's one more thing.
First off, MC, who did you say planted a mole inside Trump's campaign?
The FBI.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so the question is he's an American citizen. Why are you protecting his name? This is not a foreign issue. This is not a foreign investigation if it's an American citizen. All right, so there's a lot of assumptions about that. We don't know how true that is. It's just that it appears that that's the case. We don't know yet. Then there was one more thing that just recently came out. All right. It is widely believed that Mueller, after he had been installed and after Mr. Comey had been removed from office, basically tried to say that they were giving amnesty to Comey, that they were not going to sit up there and prosecute him for any of his criminal activity. All right.
What the fuck were they? What reason did they have to give him amnesty?
That's the question. All right. Now you're dealing with collusion. In other words, you knew what he was going to say. You were going to have him say whatever it was, intentionally perjure and poison the jury and poison the politics. If this is true, now we don't know if it's true. All right. These are just people talking in the background. Right. But if that's true, Mueller should be immediately fired and an criminal investigation opened up on him and every single one of his staff. And I don't care if you replace him. What, you think that should continue?
Mueller? I don't.
She doesn't care.
I don't fucking care. I just came in because I saw your video or Twitter post about this.
Mueller. You saw my video about what?
Mueller.
Okay.
Exactly what you're talking about, how he should be arrested or some shit.
Okay. What do you think that I'm completely off base on that?
I have no idea. I don't give a fuck. It's all corrupted. It's all corrupt anyway, isn't it?
Well, I agree with you. There's a lot of corruption, but that's the problem. Is you got to get rid of it. You got to expose it. And you got to put it down, and you've got to find out, because a lot of this stuff is you got to be able to expose not just the guys doing this kind of corruption, right? But you got to expose the press who were working with them intentionally to do this kind of stuff. They have to be outed.
I'm telling you, nuke it. from space, just to be safe.
It's the only way to be sure.
Yeah, game over, man. Game over.
Hey, let's at least get creative if we're going to use space weapons. Let's put a giant freaking hourglass up there, or sorry, a giant. Just put a giant piece of glass up there. We'll concentrate the sun rays and just burn it off the face of the Earth.
No, so basically, we're going to go with the with the Futurama methodology.
Yes.
Wait, didn't Mattis say there's going to be a space force?
Oh, I don't think that was Mattis. I do
No.
know that there was someone in the Air Force that had
Or Trump or somebody? I don't know, somebody.
I think that's a great idea.
But I don't know if you can legally do that.
No, you can't.
I don't know if you could legally do
the
it because there
weaponizing
are
of
treaties.
space.
We can
Yeah,
leave
exactly.
we can leave any treaty we want. There is a non-nuclearization or non-militarization treaty for space signed with the Soviet Union, but there is no more Soviet Union. Did all the treaties get grandfathered in? I don't think so.
Well, look, if
I
you
think
can't
we can
even
do
be
what we
bothered
want.
to go back to the moon, I don't think there's going to be much. I mean, who can afford it these days anyway?
The Penguins.
The Nazi
Wow.
penguins.
Yeah, yeah, I have forgotten about them.
Well, there's no real reason to go back for the moon right now. I mean, one of the main reasons they went to the moon was because of all the competition that was going on with the Soviets. The Soviets wanted to get the moon, so America decided to get to the moon first. So there's no real reason for them to even start up a new mission to the moon.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was meant to be happening, and then it got cancelled again, didn't it? So someone thought there was a good reason. Otherwise, why propose it?
Well,
Maybe publicity, I suppose. Probably why.
the main thing that
Headline.
positive going to the moon would be to create a base there to develop the technologies close in for long distance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're going to test out stuff to go to Mars, it's certainly better, more sensible to do it somewhere where there's maybe a potential of recovery.
No, don't we already have a colonization mission to Mars?
No, that's just Elon Musk having a fucking wet dream.
No, my wife just answered me. She said yes.
There's not one. There are lots of proposals that NASA has announced and canceled. So, but as far as
There are
Elon
cretins
Musk,
who signed up, yeah.
Elon Musk has people that have signed up to go on a mission, a one-way mission to Mars, and that's the way he described it, a one-way mission to Mars.
And it's funny because he practically admitted that those people were most likely going to die.
Yeah. Great way of getting rid of the fucking morons.
Well, and get them to pay you to do it. That's the best part.
Yeah.
You know, give us $1 million, we'll reserve a ticket.
Yeah.
Haven't these people seen Total Recall? There's no reason to go to Mars.
For $1 million, we'll send you to Mars. For $500,000, we'll just launch you into the sun.
You stole that from a Simpsons episode.
Did I?
One of their Halloween specials.
Oh, was it? Subliminal messaging, you see. It all seeps in, doesn't it?
No, I just think a space force is a great idea. If nothing else, it'll get us our own fucking space program again. I would prefer to go private. SpaceX launched a shuttle today, or whatever. Yeah, I think it's unmanned, but you know.
No space
I
auxiliaries.
still don't believe in this.
Fuck this.
I don't believe in this SpaceX horseshit. And, you know, they keep saying that they got these reusable rockets. I am sure the microfracturing that goes on in those engines. I mean, MC, you're in the, you know, the physics field. How realistic is it to keep reusing them to any degree, considering the additional cost of having the extra fuel to have them return back and land again? Wouldn't it be just cheaper if you put them with, you know, fucking parachutes and melt them down again?
Yeah, it's much cheaper to do it that way. But in actuality, if you were really serious about trying to really work in space, the way to do it would be to use magnetics to get the launch vehicles up to about 500 miles an hour.
Yeah, like a hyperloop.
Because exactly like a hyperloop. All right, and that has been proposed. All right. The best place to do that, of course, would be somewhere near the equator, so you gain relative speed.
Yeah.
But the advantage to that is you use up approximately almost between a third and 1/2 of the fuel. All right, getting the vehicles up to 500 miles an hour. All right, so think about lessening the weight, all right, by that much, all right, when you're trying to launch, because
and then you only really need a single stage launch platform then instead of 2 stage.
Correct.
3 stage like they have now. So you're dropping a stage at least.
Right. And so the advantages that are significant if we were really going to work at it from that perspective. But the kind of fracturing, the micro fracturing and things that you're talking about, you can do some of that relaunch stuff if you want, but it's only going to last maybe at most between 5. I think somewhere between 5 and 10 reuses. Yeah. And what's more is you're going to have to defer to 5 simply because anything above that, you're running a risk of the detonation, right, when the vehicle starts to launch.
That's what I mean. So eventually these things are going to, you're going to see an increase in catastrophic failure the more times that they reuse them, just Correct. Purely by, so that it doesn't seem like a really reliable platform. Especially if he's trying to convince people to go, and use it for, what was the recent one? He wants to use it for low Earth orbit, so that you use it, for,
if you're looking
like an aeroplane or whatever.
If you're looking at low orbit insertion capability, then there's other methods that would be far cheaper and more effective. Now, it may require more infrastructure, but they would work. How's it going?
Where's the highest stress point? It's always at the launch, right? And then presumably when it tries to land it again.
Well, my thing is though, the gravity on the moon is almost non-existent. Like it's a fraction of what ours is. Why is the moon base?
It's 1/6.
Okay, a fraction. Thank you. That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why can't we build a moon base and build bigger ships? That way we can take more cargo with us to Mars to build a settlement.
Oh,
why not? Why
that would be the most sensible solution, mate. Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all,
sensible solution.
How are you getting that cargo up there?
Conventional way, supposedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heavy lifters.
Yeah, but you're taking. Okay, follow me here, MC. I get it. All right. You're getting old. It's okay. But no, we take the cargo from the Earth. We take it to the moon, and we keep doing that and stockpile and build our ship in a space dock type situation on the moon where we can build it larger, more powerful. Build it at the International Space Station because the moon at least has some gravity. They have to do a little bit less exercise. It would be a little bit better for our people there. That would be my answer. And it would give us some practice and, I don't know, setting up a goddamn settlement. Something we might want to figure out, before we go to Mars.
Why don't we take a settlement from the Nazis that are already up there?
Yes. I've seen Iron Sky. Damn good documentary.
Damn it. Down
center of the earth, isn't there?
And we got to see what President Palin would be like too.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, am I pitching a bad idea here, or is it just
is
it too new?
No, I think you're right. If you could get something like the space elevator working, which again is a disastrous idea waiting to happen.
Well,
but
I mean, it is hypothetically if you build it on the moon with low gravity, that's the ideal space. That's the ideal space.
Well, no, the thing is, if you using the moon is a good opportunity to give yourself. I mean, it's a platform, like as was said before. It gives you a launching pad. Yep. Plus, there are resources on the moon which are potentially useful. So that means that you don't have to ship as much, right? I mean, if you want to do it all in orbit and then launch it off onto to Mars, then you're actually having to do more work in a way. You want to launch a bunch of shit to the moon, build stuff. And then, you're already working on a 6 gravity, so the launch requirements are going to be a damn sight less.
Well, yeah, no, and that's my point also. And at 40, you got cut off, so I'm going to let you go here in a second. But that's my point. And also, it'll give us practice. Shit will go wrong on the moon, all right? But we're close enough to help. We have the International Space Station. We have Earth right there. We can help. We can't.
And how exciting would it be? You see, you'd have the excitement factor. People would be tuning in. News at 10. See how the recovery's going, like Apollo 13. teen or something, you know?
Yeah, live
It'd
streams.
get people
right from the
excited about
moon.
it again.
Oh Lord, Kardashians in space. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Throw them out the airlock.
No,
Well,
I
hang
said
on.
I
They've
said I
already
was
done
gonna
that.
let
It's called
no.
Pigs in Space. That was on the
I
Muppets.
said I was going to let 40 go because he got cut off. 40, go ahead now. But that's my pitch here. Is the moon would be a great launching platform.
Well,
I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I've listened to quite a few podcasts about theoretical physics.
But have you read the Wikipedia article?
yes, I have. I mean, here's the thing. A moon, the space elevator on the moon is a great idea because of low gravity. You probably don't want to build it too tall. You know, hypothetically, if an asteroid comes by and strikes the shit out of it, then you're fucked.
Okay, so can we do the Starship Troopers thing, please? I want to share it with hot chicks.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm for a fully integrated military experience.
yeah.
With my cock. Ah!
Rate not included.
I think we learned a little too much about you, Wolfshot.
What? I don't have a cock, but I mean, if you want to see it, that's cool.
Just the new Destiny expansion?
Did you see the new Destiny expansion?
Is that the new Destiny expansion?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
It's in my pants.
What planet do you go to?
Anyways, but no, seriously. I think it should be like aliens and all the men and the women are together and it's fine and
oh, I fucking knew they were gonna.
No one's having a shit fit.
She's looking forward to interspecies sex.
Well, Adrian, what do you think about this idea that I pitched? I mean, really, launching off from the moon, I think Gingrich, that was the only good idea he fucking had.
Is it actually gonna have a fucking story?
It would be very, very expensive what you're suggesting, because the one thing is you got to get, it takes a lot of fuel in order to launch a rocket, and that's why they also tend to build the rockets out of light material. So if you want to add on extra cargo onto that, you're going to have more fuel, and it's going to cost so much more. I think by the end, you may even bankrupt yourself before you could actually manage to finish off the program.
Adrian, that's the thing, though, right? I mean, they've already got the heavy lifters. You know, I mean, even SpaceX is now testing its the latest heavy lifter. How much did that take up? I mean, they fucking launched a Tesla into orbit just for a fucking advertising campaign. If they can afford to do that, they can definitely.
What a waste of money! You know what I'm saying?
No, that was.
But then once again, what was that? Like, what is a Tesla? Like 2 tons or something like that? You probably have to bring in thousands.
They did it because they wanted everyone
to launching it. The cost of launching it. I mean, the whole point is.
What was that, Cabot?
I'm saying the cost of launching the bloody thing is where the cost was. It wasn't in the Tesla. Fuck the Tesla. The Tesla was like, you know, the fucking penny change.
Well, I mean more that if Tesla only weighs 2 tons, you're probably going to have cargo, which is going to weigh, what, hundreds of tons at least?
Just a second.
So then,
40 has been trying to
spit
something out. So 40, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys keep fucking interrupting me, dicks.
Oh, 40, I'm sorry. I'm such a cunt.
You
It's our
fucking
duty
really
to interrupt cucks.
You really hurt my feelings, Wolfshot.
Did I really?
No, you didn't.
Oh my
Let
god.
him speak,
What
bitch.
What do you think? I'm a bitch?
I
No,
feel
okay.
so
Oh, hold
bad.
on.
Do you really want us to answer that? You really want to say it?
Well, let me ask
You
you.
want
Do
honesty?
you want fucking AIDS MC? I swear to God, I'll come over there and give it to you. But anyways, I
Come
mean,
over
here's
and
the
breathe
thing.
on you.
Shut the fuck up! I'll play the deer noise.
Oh Lord.
Here's the thing. If you're talking about space elevator, it might be worth it to build it on the moon. There's lots of valuable resources. We're made up of kind of the same stuff. Not really, but kind of, sort of. So there's good mining opportunities, maybe. But it wouldn't be a good idea to just launch shit there conventionally, only to... I don't know how to word it. It'd be a good staging area if you want to get to Mars. Like Cabbage was saying, you can possibly have a much higher rate of velocity if you want to talk about the space elevator and, you know, magnetized propulsion and all that shit that MC was talking about. Might not be a terrible idea.
Hyperloop, you build a Hyperloop, you know, I mean, you're already on the moon, so you got a 6 of the gravity. The launch requirements are going to be a lot less. The energy requirements are a lot less. You And it wouldn't actually take that much because you can use inflatable, living pods and things like that. And you just launch it and it will land at a location. Newton knew what he was talking about. When you launch something.
No, I want to go. No, I'm not letting that slide. Did you just say we're going to have a cloud city on Mars or on the moon?
No, that's actually
inflatable fucking living pods. That shit sounds
seriously,
no, I already signed up for it. I'm doubling down.
The standard technique is that you effectively use the material, and because
I thought they were going to be
relatively
vacuum, there like fucking.
No, they go solid. No, you see, that's the thing. You don't need metal buildings or whatever. You can use materials. Like a carbon. Well, what's the stuff? Like the stuff they use on bulletproof vests. And
carbon
like
fiber.
It's a carbon fiber composite, and so they're you can relatively get them into small, relatively compact. So you can launch 4 or 5 of those, and you can actually build a viable habitat quite quickly. In fact, if you're going to go to the moon and there are, caves or something like that, even easier would be to cap off a cave, and then just, work within the space provided. So we'd be going back to being cavemen again, which would be interesting, just on the moon.
Well, and
I don't think people could survive that way. And sorry, I cut you off again, 40. Go ahead.
No, the Cloud City thing is an actual method of survival. There have actually been plans to colonize Venus before there were plans to colonize Mars. And one of the ways NASA went about it is to literally have inflatable housing units that would sit on the very top of the the very top of the atmosphere. That way, you're not crushed, and you could literally siphon off gases, and cycle them out, create your own oxygen and everything.
They have created those. That is true. All right, but let's go back to the space elevator.
The thing about Venus is that if you fall off your inflatable house, you'll be in the hellscape that is Venus's surface.
You won't last long enough to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be over very, very quickly.
Very quickly and very painfully.
Yes.
But there's a problem with the space elevators. All right. One of the tests that NASA did was they tried to put a ball on a tether to see if they could use it to generate as it flows through the electromagnetic fields of the Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that they could see if they could generate electricity. It instantly broke. What they discovered is that the stresses are far higher than people estimated for something like a space elevator.
Yes, but you have to use nanotubes. You've got to use carbon nanotubes. That's the whole point.
I don't even think
it's got to be effectively diamond.
I don't even think carbon nanotubes would work.
Well, no, because I mean,
I don't think it. Well, plus you've got the drag on the thing, right? So if it's in orbit, it's constantly being pulled backwards. It would eventually drag itself back into the atmosphere again. You have to constantly.
It doesn't matter what kind of tubing you use. You can't. That tubing isn't gonna magically fend off the Earth's atmosphere and the friction, the air friction and shit.
The sheer forces.
You'd have to have
into the space elevator on the surface.
Yeah.
Well, the space
exactly.
Like it being attacked by a certain man who may or may not be named Mohammed. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and name him Abdul.
It was an Asian. It was an Asian man. No fixed abode.
The thing is, too, is for how big a space elevator was, if ever there was a problem where it was to break, then you got to think about how much damage and how much death that might cause on the Earth if it was to fall back down, because that would be kilometers of space elevators. So that could easily destroy multiple cities across the globe from almost from one end of the world to the next.
Well,
if it's a carbon nanotube whip, that's what you'd have.
If it's a tube, that's true. Hey, Moz.
Hey guys, can you hear
me? It would be like a whip.
Yep.
Yay.
Yeah, cool. Can I just stop everyone there? Is the one thing you're forgetting about, in my opinion, is physics. And I'm not an expert.
Okay.
The lifting of stuff from the Earth costs an absolute fortune in sources. That's kind of Einstein's E equals mc squared. It's just because everyone's saying if we we could fire rockets. No, that rocket in space first, and that's the best we can do is like 26,000 miles per hour to get a rocket into space, and that's a struggle. And that's just to lift some astronauts. But once you get them into space, yeah, well, when you're in frictionless, you can, and it comes back to light speed. The reality is that star to us in our solar system is light years away. That's to get to the closest star to us. So how are we going to then carry all the weight of a new ship, of a new base, and we're going to build a base on the moon, and we're going to do this, and we're going to trajectory off? No, we have a new way, a new propulsion system that is limits of the speed we have now, and then off into space, and then off into the solar system. It's no good.
No, but Mars. But Mars. We can make it to Mars right now. They have the slingshot
we can
method.
make it to Mars, but are those people coming back?
No, that's what we're saying.
No, but they already know they're not coming back. And you had over 100,000 people sign up to not come back.
Well, and there's a good chance that you're going to be living in hideous fucking
that makes me
conditions.
happy, because that's how positive it is. It's how many people want. I've said it, and you have to look. I look at it is you have to look at it this way simply. In 5, our sun is going to go everything on this planet, whether you like it or not. That's it. And if in 5 billion years we haven't figured it out,
yeah, but we know how to do it now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take us 5 billion years.
Yeah, we do. You hollow out an asteroid, and you know
how,
and then,
how? Yeah, no offense.
Well,
but
you
how?
can use.
How do we do that now?
You could use you could use nanotechnology to effectively eat the materials. You could use nanomites, nanobots.
Are we actually doing that, or are we actively trying?
No, I'm saying that the technologies are being developed. If you look into nanotechnology, absolutely. So you could hollow out an asteroid and then launch it out into the, to I don't know. Where would you go though? That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, that's
the problem, right?
This is the point.
You've got to have somewhere to go. You've got to have a destination.
There's one thing you're not thinking about, Cabbage, though. And that's even no matter what accomplishment you did like that, the feminists would be pissed off about the shirt you're wearing.
That's true.
Oh, then I'll make sure to wear my Ahegao hoodie.
That's so true. It's just so. It's one planet in the universe, and we're all arguing and squabbling over about how can I have how much. No, if humankind is going to future, talking beyond our 100-year lives, we have to look into the future and say, in 5,000 years, where do we want to be? We have to be outside this solar system.
We do, but like I say, you want to go somewhere. I can't imagine a life more dull than just staring out of a window at stars flying by. You know?
Well,
I mean, it might seem impressive, watching an episode of Star Trek, but
I imagine.
I mean, how many
this is the worst thing. In 20,000 million years' time, when the human life has advanced, there's going to be some guy looking out a window just masturbating to himself, going, "This sucks. Why am I doing this?" Will humans change? And I don't. And we all know it. We all know it. On this planet that we live on today, there is anger, violence, and shit. And until we sort that out, we're just. I don't believe we have the technology now to move beyond the solar system. And I don't believe.
Yeah, but we weren't going on about the solar system. We were just talking about like using the moon as a potential testing planet.
What would that achieve?
Exploring. Well, so we could explore this solar system. So we could
explore. But if you look at the distances, we could go beyond it. Yeah, if you look at the distances, if you look at the Hubble Space Telescope, can look back 14 billion years or whatever it is, look back in time, and from a physics point of view, we can understand the universe in a much bigger way, but we're still saying, let's go to the moon. It's like me saying, I'm going to go and knock on my neighbor's house. It's like, well, what the fuck is that going to do?
But I'm sorry, but what you're saying is we shouldn't take baby steps. We should go straight from crawling to driving a Porsche.
No, Cabbage. I'm gonna pull one from. No, I'm pulling Tolkien here. You know what? No, I'm pulling a Tolkien. You know what the first step is? You walk out your front door, and then you take a step and another step. We need to go to the moon first and create something there, and then go to Mars. And we need to terraform eventually Mars, and then
the front door to the garden. You're saying.
Yeah, you take just like Tolkien, in fucking The Hobbit. It was the first book. He took a step out the door and kept going. That's how the adventure starts.
Definitely Mars over.
And also,
I still don't think.
If you're looking about a new propulsion system, then helium-3 is pretty impressive as a source for energy. So that you. And if we were going to, and also, what's the best place to test things that might be potentially extremely dangerous? It would be somewhere away from lots of people, and the moon's a pretty good place to do that.
Well, no, and as I said before, we can help somebody on the moon because shit is going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, we can help there. We can respond. Moz, I get your point, though. I get, we need to think bigger and develop new technologies.
Yes, but people are thinking bigger, but they to get there, you have to take the appropriate sort of steps to make it viable.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, but for me, the big issue, and again, I'm no expert, but the big issue for me is that if we can't conquer at least the speed of light travel, what's the point of going anywhere?
Well, we don't even. Hypothetically speaking, we will never reach the speed of light. We can only
99%. Let's go with 99%. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Well, I mean, no, not even that. I mean, I'm saying even if we can achieve 90%, right? And that's being rather optimistic.
Sorry to cut you off, 40, but on a philosophical level, I'm kind of offended by that a little bit, because why even go to why did our ancestors even take the ship across the Pacific if they knew they were going to fall off the edge of the world? You need to take these steps to actually develop the new technology that will take us further. I believe warping time and space is probably a possibility.
I would just quickly add, Mad Dodge, they didn't understand the world in the same way that we do at a physics level.
Yeah.
But we don't understand what anybody's going to understand in 200 years. I've had this argument before. We're so arrogant that we think we've already figured it out.
Yeah.
We haven't.
This is what you remember, Mad Dodge. Remember the other night, I was saying that we were 100 years ago, 150 years ago, people were still banging flint together to make fire.
Yeah, flint and fire.
So we are. But the idea that because we can't do it all now, we shouldn't do anything at all it just seems like a false premise.
Oh no, I agree with that. But it's the distances that you're covering. You have to try and understand.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're trying to understand our own solar system, which would then provide us with the opportunity to understand how we can potentially. We don't even know if we could leave the gravitational pull of our own solar system. And you've got to get up to one hell of a speed.
No, I would say we can.
I would say we know we can. Slingshot. Well, theoretically.
We can, because we've done it with, what was the first thing we sent out?
Voyager.
With the Clark. Yeah, Voyager. With the Clark on. We've done that. It just takes a lot of time.
Well, no, it still hasn't left. It
will leave, but it just takes a lot of time. We don't know. Because it's not traveling fast enough. Because we can only fire rockets off at 26,000 miles per hour. System. If we could
Voyager
fire them off,
could just end up coming back again. We don't know.
10 times the scope. Some mathematics.
Well, and they have interesting ideas. I saw some interesting prototypes.
There's too many arguments.
there's some interesting prototypes for like
Yeah.
solar wind
Carry on, sorry.
type. Yeah, solar wind type craft, almost like on Deep Space Nine, the Bajoran aircraft. I thought that was
Yeah, the
interesting.
sails. Yeah.
Yeah, they also have this beam that they want to shine, and that'll keep the ship going at a gradually increasing
Oh, that's
pace.
The solar
that's
sails.
called an those are ion engines.
Sorry, but no
which,
offense, but again, they have warp drives that create a field bubble around the ship that allows it to travel faster than light. Is that
yeah,
something
but you see,
we have?
but the problem with that is that you can't see anything that might potentially damage you. The place that the ship would be so peppered with every, I mean, even something that 10 to the size of a grain of sand
Space
would just
dust.
go flying through there. Yeah, I mean, you would just be fucked. So still the idea of the speed, that's the whole point. It's probably going to have to be a long journey. Like I said, hollow out an asteroid, head towards the, well, you don't want to go to Andromeda because that's coming to collide with us. You want to go somewhere else. So,
do you mean is coming to collide with us?
Yeah, Andromeda. Yeah, the Andromeda Galaxy is on a collision course. We in a few
do
billion
you
years. In
realise
actual fact,
do you
before
realise the spatial difference between them?
Yeah,
do you
but
actually realise the size of the gaps in between them? It's it's like atoms and
yes,
neutrons.
I'm
passing
well aware.
between each
Yeah, I'm well
other.
aware
They
of
want to-
scale.
Yeah,
mate.
sorry.
But what I'm saying is
sorry.
that if we launch ourselves towards it, we'd only be coming back again because we would basically drag ourselves back into a massive collision between the two galaxies. So if we know two galaxies are going to collide, and that's going to create a lot of problems, probably not a good idea to go on. If we're leaving one of them, not to go to the other one that's going to collide.
But what if the two galaxies collide, and over the scale of those galaxies colliding, life can be formed and advanced 2,000 years? Because they're not going to collide second, be over a long period of time.
Be over billions of years, yeah, and it will create new. It'll create new stars. It'll create new, gas giants.
Maz, you said you know a little bit more about physics than we do, which is great.
I never said that. I never said that. Yeah,
okay,
well,
no. Yeah,
No,
exactly. You probably do. But no, what I'm saying here is I see some stuff on some documentaries about how they're actually developing stuff like transporters and warp theory. Do you think these things are actually possible? Not transporting information, but people or objects. Would that be possible? And warp theory. What's the general idea on that? Because no, we don't have that yet. But I believe we need these stepping stones to get that. We didn't jump to a fucking B-52 or an F-22. We didn't jump to a nuclear bomb that could wipe out 3 cities at once.
Yeah, we had trebuchets before we had nukes.
My opinion is possibly not going to be popular. My opinion is that I think as mankind we can achieve a great many things, but I'm worried that the way the Earth is set up at the moment is there's a lot of people, such as researchers, that are saying stuff like, if I look up in the sky, it's going to get really close to the Earth. It's going to get really close. We were so lucky that time. So maybe you should give me some funding. I can watch these things all night, and none of them are ever going to be anywhere near me. Things that are set up where certain individuals are getting money for doing nothing, or at least, let's be honest. If we went to the reality is, if they turn around to us and said, we've scanned, turn around to them and go, well, we don't need to fund you anymore. And like SJWs, like all like any I'm not taking
Okay, maybe I'm messing up.
I can't hear a word. I can't hear a word.
Me neither.
Okay, so I'm not messing up. Yeah, Moz,
No,
F5 real quick.
You're
I thought I was
totally
breaking
no.
up.
No, it's like, well, I mean, we're being consistent like that. Every third word. Moz?
He's dead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you better now.
Kill.
Right, yeah.
Oh. No, it's gone again.
You were good for a second.
Reset your
Can you hear
connection.
me?
Reset your connection.
That's not going to happen. It's just the man taking.
Can't hear what you're saying, mate.
Just drop out and come right back. It should work. The same link will work. But no, Cabbage, what do you think? Or Adrian, or 40, one of you guys. What do you think about the new technological advances they're talking about, like transporters? We have 3D printers. I mean, stuff's getting pretty crazy.
Well, if we're talking about transporters, the one thing about them, which they don't really bring up in the Star Trek series, is the fact that from the way it was working, it was more creating another copy of your molecules in another destination. Right. So if we're dealing with sort of the way that's working, with how the technology works, then you would actually, yourself, when you step in the transporter, would cease to exist, and another carbon copy of yourself would be created in a new location. Yeah. So in a sense, you don't live anymore, but another version of you does.
That's the thing. It's like you are. I mean, which one is would be you otherwise? They actually have to destroy you because they're not transporting the physical material in the transporter. That's the thing that people didn't seem to get.
Okay, well, right? That's a Star Trek definition. But
so imagine the idea, though. Yeah, but you can't transport the data, right? I mean, if you're sending it, even at the speed of light, if you were to send every single atom, which you couldn't do because the atoms would have changed by the time they arrived at the receiver, right? Just because of any interference that might happen from solar activity and things like that, radiation so you can't be using the original material. So that means that your original material has to be destroyed.
And also,
there's no other way of doing it.
And then actually, when we're talking about warp technology, as I understand it, they've said that that's the most likely. If you were to travel fast, at least at the speed of light or faster, I've heard that is the most likely way that you would be able to do it, because it creates like the bubble around you and moves sort of space and time around yourself, or at least moving it. The bubble will move the ship around. But if we're just trying to have an engine that would push us fast.
That's like it's like you're riding on a bow wave.
Well, yeah,
exactly. It's like surfing a wave.
They say space does bend. So space will bend. If you bend a piece of paper, the shortest point is at So 40, what say you on this? And I hope Moz does come back. But I thought it was just me. I F5'd because I thought it was me. That's why I dropped out for
He was roboting.
Okay.
Roboting like crazy.
Okay.
Well, the thing is that when you're talking about not warp drives, but when you're talking about like transportation of molecules across long distances, that's very true. I mean, this is all theoretical. We don't know what will happen. Maybe it is like a Star Trek, for instance. Maybe you, theoretically speaking, you die, but your molecules are just rearranged or
used back.
Yeah, whatever the case might be. I'm not entirely sure.
Is this the original Mars or?
Well, okay, 40. I want to prod you a little bit more on the transporter thing, because what I saw was they actually sent a small, not a small object, but I guess they sent the data for it and had it printed somewhere else. Kind of.
It's a fax machine, mate.
Kind of. I mean, it was though. It was kind of what the transporter is, and if you look at the 3D printer and the replicator for Star Trek, how can you see the difference? Because the 3D printer,
yes, but they're not but
it will print food. They have ones that make
Yes, but it's only making something which is from a pattern. It is not making anything original. It's very different.
Yeah.
And it hasn't, I mean, it's using raw materials in order to reproduce a pattern. That's it.
I would argue that so is the Star Trek version, but go ahead, 40, because I was asking.
Well, no, because you're taking consciousness and everything else. You've got to take every single atom, you know, even its spin.
Talking about the replicator, not the transporter on this one. With the
no, this is the.
I just
but
feel like
but you're
it's a
saying
carbon copy from like a photocopier, and every copy is degraded upon the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're effectively cloning yourself, taking along those complications that come with, like you say, the degradation.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, in my opinion, we shouldn't even be touching this stuff. You know, we know nothing about human consciousness aside from the fact that we have it. You know, we don't know if cats have some kind of cat consciousness or something like this. To be honest, there are much more, I don't want to say primitive because they're not, but there are much more simplistic means of travel through space that are feasible now. I mean, one of the ways to travel through space at a relatively quick speed, faster than we can travel now actually, is to hypothetically drop nuclear bombs behind our spacecraft and detonate them.
I remember that project. It was even proposed, wasn't it? I remember that. There was a big blast shield behind it. Yeah, but the thing was that the amount of force that would have been produced by each of the blasts would have effectively liquefied the people inside.
It sounds to me like someone's suggesting we blow up the planet and run away.
Well, I mean, no, I mean,
I'm not saying I don't like it.
Well, I mean, you don't like, all right, well, let's strap like let's strap a V2 to the back of the shuttle, yeah? I'm not saying, that, but, once you are a safe distance away from Earth and, the radiation isn't going to take issue with our atmosphere or anything, it'd be safe to do it.
The problem is, no, but it isn't, because the acceleration itself would be so high on the blast wave of a nuclear, even if it was just a small contained nuclear blast, the acceleration from each of these boom, boom, boom hitting you in the back constantly, that would effectively liquefy you.
But there's no friction. There's no friction.
Well, no, you still have inertia. You still have you actually do like that. Why do you think that? Even if you're in space, you remember when they went to the moon, right? When they ignited those second rockets, even though they were in space itself, so they were technically weightless, you hit the engines and you've got your own inertia, right?
Really?
Your own weight will still push back. Yes, of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's an energy for you're being pushed against, so therefore your natural weight, you're going to feel it, and then that's what G-force is. G-force still has an effect in orbit, in space. You still have G-forces.
That's actually something I was going to bring up earlier.
You wouldn't even be able to get out because, like I said, you'd be liquid. You'd be liquid before you even got out there because the amount of acceleration and the inertia that would be pressing down on you, your body would effectively, when you see the pilots and their cheeks flapping when they go into those G-force simulators? Yeah, but that you'd effectively be like that. You just melt onto your chair.
That's actually why the warp bubble theory. That's actually why the warp bubble theory is the
Star Trek. The inertial dampeners always went offline first, so that they could fix that ship in position, and so that now we have to fight the enemy. Sorry.
I was just going to say that that's actually why the warp bubble theory, it seems to be one of the more popular ones when people are talking about this, is because you would still have the inertia, but you would have less of it. And if you were trying to make an engine that could push you to the speed of light, even though it's theoretically impossible, let's just say it was, they've talked about how it would most likely tear the ship and the people on board apart if they were to try and go that fast for the same reasons, because of the inertia.
Exactly. Yeah. And you would have no ability to really navigate whatsoever. You wouldn't see anything coming, so you navigate. I mean, you wouldn't be able to predict any incoming materials. I mean, there's so many other things. I mean, let alone being able to do it. The question is, would it be a smart thing to do if you could? And there's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to do it.
Well, let's work on suggestions in a way that is kind of conspiracy theory, if you like. It's like everyone's opinion on what they think we need to do. I personally think we need to leave this solar system and find somewhere else. Now it's up to someone else.
I just think we need to chill the fuck out and have a beer. That would be
Yeah.
good.
I'm with Cabbage.
I'm having a beer, but first off, the sun's not going to blow up anytime soon. The Andromeda galaxy isn't going to crash into us. Chances are, if a meteor did come close enough to wipe us out, we could probably handle it. 5 billion years. I'm telling you, we can get to Mars. That buys us another billion. And I say we could probably leave the galaxy by that time. We're not going to be Atlantis, so to say.
Yeah. I really just I wouldn't want to live in interstellar space. I really wouldn't. The idea of Star Trek doesn't entice me one iota.
Yeah.
Flying around looking at nebula. It's like how many nebula can you see before you just think fucking another nebula? Is this it?
Whatever. I want to go fight the Klingons. This shit sounds fun as hell. I'm a Trekkie. I'm down for that.
Good point.
I still want to. I'd want to be on a planet. Just life.
It's a good point, though. If somehow we manage to forest humanity into the future, who would actually want to be there? And it comes back to the cloning and the immortality and all that. If you could step 20,000 million years into the future, would you want to be there?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm a person that desperately wants to see tomorrow. Desperately wants to see. I see there's good in humanity. There's better in humanity, and I can see what it can achieve. And I'm like, we're shit today, but in a million years we could be better.
I also think you're a little too optimistic. Or at least I'm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
Little too.
It'd be great if we had these spaceships and we had places to go to. But the thing is, you need to be able to go somewhere, right? You don't just want to be floating through space on the off chance that you might come across a planet that maybe you can utilize. That just sounds like
tell it the Voyager, you prick.
Well, exactly. Well, but Voyager met lots and lots of people along the way, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, statistically, they were more
coffee.
Statistically, they were more likely to find inhabited planets than in all actuality.
They were further out, so they were older galaxies, so they would already been developed.
Well, absolutely. And my son is being a brat and having a meltdown, and we've gone about 2.5, 3 hours. So, any last thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up?
Go on.
Sorry.
Well, as last in stream, can I go first?
Go ahead.
If we don't just look into the future and try, and if we just keep looking back at the crap we're doing on Earth with this SJW shit, we're going nowhere. We're going nowhere. Throw the lifeboat out on the side of the ship and jump in, for fuck's sake. Sorry for the language. Thank you.
No, I agree, and as far as I'm concerned, I think that the moon is the first most sensible step in order to try and achieve any of those goals to begin with. I think if we're going to do it, then we need to have somewhere as a test platform, rather than just saying it's all or nothing.
I like the idea of space exploration. I love my Star Trek, my Star Wars. But for me, I actually think I would prefer to be able to explore the bottom of the ocean before going out into space, because there's a lot of crazy crap down there that we haven't come across yet. And I think that in some way we need to be able to explore the rest of our planet before we can start going out and exploring the rest of the universe. And you know what? When it comes to future technology, give me my holodeck and give me my food replicator, and I'm happy.
I'm right.
What the hell?
Well,
throw a tricorder in there.
Well, no, and I agree with Cabbage. I think we need to go to the moon and expand out towards Mars. We also do need to explore the depths of the ocean. You're right, Adrian.
Yeah.
I also want to reiterate, you guys, that we are going to start a new format next Friday. It's going to be more satire based on the Friday show, so it should be fun. Check in next week for that. The Red Eye, the rest of the week will be normal politics and commentary and fighting, the usual. But go ahead, 40.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Moz, that the only way progress is achieved is by looking forward. But the only way that we can remind ourselves of what not to do is to look into the past as well. And
yeah, you learn from your mistakes.
Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to go to Mars, to go to the moon, but the reality is that, we do have to take those baby steps. We can theorize about the technological advances of 10, 20, 30, 50 years from now. But unless we solve today's problems, we'll never have the opportunity to solve tomorrow's problems. And that's why, I mean, honestly, I love science. I'm just not that fucking smart. But I mean, I'm really grateful that there are people like Elon Musk that actually have the money and have the capability to actually go out there and do crazy shit like that. I know it's just stupid, something like launching a Tesla car into space. And some people might think that that's stupid, that's a waste of money. But I mean, if it wouldn't be a waste of money it would only be a waste of money if there's no reason to do it. And humans are incredibly intuitive, and we don't do things for no reason. So, I mean, whether it's just something stupid like testing a rocket or something, I don't know.
Yeah, my point about the
I don't know.
My point about the car wasn't. It was about the fact that clearly we can shift, plenty of weight if we can afford to, throw a car into orbit. Then I'm sure we can, we can still use that same capacity to do something a bit more useful, in terms of, putting things on the moon. Yeah, no, and I get you. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to generalize on subjects like this, but I don't know. Good shit. I wish I could live. I wish I did have, eternal youth, because a lot of that kind of stuff does excite me. I'd love to go see Mars, go float around in the atmosphere of Venus and stuff like that. It's unfortunate.
Wait, are you 10 years younger than me? Join up with Musk and fucking be on the manned fucking craft.
So
you're a young
and never come back.
Yeah,
40. Are you a transhumanist?
It's to a very, very, very limited degree, but kind of. I mean, there are people that take it way out there, where it's just like,
let's as well.
pump your body full of like methane and freeze yourself in this, below 0 Celsius or whatever the fuck it might be, and the thing is that there's no assurance that that's even going to work. Like the people that are freezing themselves, that there's no guarantee that that's going to work, which I think is absolutely
cryogenic is pointless.
Wait, why is it foolish though? If there's no guarantee it's going to work, but you're dying anyway, and you're on your deathbed, you die, they freeze you.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, but
that's not transhumanism. Transhumanism is going to singularity, where you can upload your brain.
It will work one day.
Yeah,
you can live in virtuality.
Well, and the thing about the technological,
sit your head back onto a body.
No, but that's what. No. The transhumanism is about singularity. It's about, being able to upload your brain into a synthetic form so that it can last forever, and you can have backup copies and that sort of stuff.
The thing about the technological
Ray Kurzweil's baby, he's a nutter.
Yeah, the thing about the technological singularity and how it relates to consciousness is that ultimately it fucking doesn't. We don't understand consciousness at all.
Exactly.
No psychologist could tell you anything about it other than we have it. So again, even to that point, it's pointless until we find Jesus and we're able to ask him some questions or something.
People
I
think that
found
we're
him in my
actually
trunk.
people think that we're playing with atoms, but in psychological terms, we're playing with Lego, or stickle bricks.
Yeah.
Where we are really dealing with with boxing gloves on. I mean, that's the point we're at now.
And can we just quickly take it back to when he said there is no E in the atoms?
What?
I think
You cut it out again, Moss.
Is he breaking up?
Yeah, in the atom.
I'm breaking up, mate.
Jack down, countrymen, take your guns to town. Take their lives away before they steal yours. Tyranny no more.
What's going on?
It's the
Probably
outro
end the
song.
stream. Oh, how did you do that? That was fucking cool.
Who, me?
Oh, was that you that did that?
Yes.
Oh. How'd you play it so that everyone can hear it?
It went through my headphones.
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just quickly say that this is why I don't want a sex robot, because computers control sex robots, and she keeps telling me I'm wrong. That's bad. That's bad.
So the DVD...
My internet connection is not enough. Sorry, Outlaw, but my internet connection is not enough, and therefore I'm not getting the quiet response from my sex robot that I want. I just wanted to say that Einstein said there is no evil in the atom, only in men's hearts. It's technology.
Yeah, but he was
is
gay.
Technology is not bad. Technology is a good thing, but the way we as people use it is why God left the planet for those other side people. That's why God doesn't love you anymore, because you treated it like shit. Fuck you.
Well, I'm glad I'm an atheist. I don't have to worry.
Sorry, I had
We
to step
stand strong
away.
together, Cabbage.
Okay, Mad Dog, Mad Dog.
I had to step away and regulate the kids. The girls cleaning their room. What's going on now?
Okay,
you
so
guys fucking
Mad
talking?
Dog, I need to deviate for a second. I'm going to see Rebel Sun tomorrow, and I posted in the side chat the merch available, and their full Confederate CD.
I just copied the link address. I can't wire you money tonight, but damn it, I do want something from that concert. Fuck. DM me later. Let's talk.
DM you on what?
Just DM me, or I'll DM you here in a little bit after I look at that. And next Friday I could fucking send money, but I can't right now. I just put money on my electric.
I'm not worried about it, dude.
But yeah, I do want something from that Rebel Sun concert.
Everyone else in the chat.
Oop. Got a phone call, so I'm dropping out, guys. I'll see you later.
Bye, dude.
Cheers,
Oh yeah,
man.
oh yeah. Sorry about dropping out earlier. I had to go pick up a couple things and, some tree. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's all good. No, we're about ready to wrap up. We were talking a little bit about space exploration. What do you think about that for your final thoughts, and then we'll go offline?
Well, space travel, I think it's inevitable. I don't think we're at, fucking Sigourney Weaver, Starship Trooper level space exploration. But, I mean, we have terraforming. We can do it. It just takes forever. And I think within the next 100 years that it's going to be possible.
Time is our enemy. We must declare war on time.
Quick thoughts, though. I and Cabbage were arguing that we should use the moon as a jump-off point. Moz and I don't remember where 40 stood, but I know Moz was saying, why even start at the moon, and let's figure out actual technology to get further out beforehand. What say you?
Like better ships and shit?
Better engines, really. Ways to travel faster.
Well, let's take a page out of Star Trek. Let's take a page
Shinier toys.
out of Starship Troopers or whatever. I say Star Trek and Starship Troopers because I believe in Star Trek it's more feasible than Star Wars. And if you want, you can fight me on it. I don't give a fuck.
Socialists. Call me bitch.
Okay. I've been called a commie, a Nazi. I mean, I don't know.
Wait, that makes me a commie too, because Trek is totally better than War.
Yeah, but Star Trek is more feasible.
Yeah.
So if we can get on that
Federation.
goddamn level, that would be nice. And that's my final thought on that. Go ahead. Someone else go ahead.
Oh, no. I think we all wrapped up. Moz, it sounded like you had something you wanted to say real quick, but then I'm going to end the broadcast.
Yeah, I don't know if you can still hear me, that weight is the problem. Because if you look at Einstein's E equals mc squared, and that's the base that we know of at the moment, weight is the problem. Getting the weight out of space and moving it on is an issue.
You can't do it, man. No fat shaming.
Well, no, fuck those fatties. If you're not slim six-pack astronaut, fuck you.
Mose, the biggest issue we're going to run into is money.
Yeah.
We have to get these people interested in space travel again. Honestly.
Oh, yes.
Because no one gives a shit.
It's a good...
But
yeah, Moz, you're breaking up a little bit, but this has been the Redeye Stream 116. As I said earlier, I'm going to say it a third time and final time. We are doing a new format for next Friday's show. We're probably going to have a new name. We'll do the Redeye twice a week, maybe on weekends, and then we're going to have a new Friday satire type show. It should be fun. Hopefully it'll be funny. We'll see. Good night and good luck.